Off in the AFC Championship game by Cincinnati. No love lost between some of the people involved in tonight's contest. Greg Bell, of course, went out to the Rams in the Eric Dickerson-Cornelius Bennett trade and had some rather unsavory comments about his former Bills teammates, principally Fred Smerlas. Now, Greg Bell came into tonight, second in the league in rushing. It's very unusual for a running back to speak disparagingly of defensive players.
Well, remember we talked to John Robinson, and he told us that Greg Bell got those comments out right before John got his hand across his mouth. I would agree with you, Frank. It's a little unusual for a running back, a target like that, to go ahead and verbally slam the defensive team he's going to be playing. But that is Greg Bell. Of course, if I had the offensive line in front of me that he has, and some of the wide receivers and the quarterback that surrounds this guy, Greg Bell, I might be feeling a little bit cocky about things as well.
Of course, specifically, he was quoted as calling Fred Smerlas, the all-pro nose tackle, a redneck. Marv Levy, one of the fine people in football, called him a con artist and even attacked the medical staff of the Buffalo Bills. And
he left no one unscathed.
Did he mention us, I wonder?
No, we were spared.
All right, as you can see, the Bills will be kicking off left to right. Scott Norwood will get things underway, and deep is Ron Brown. And of course, if you follow pro football, you know the Rams want the ball to go to Brown. 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns in his career. Great speedster, Olympic speed. Here he is, Ron Brown. And there he stays. The ball comes loose and is quickly covered by a Ram. Mike Peel was there. Buffalo fired up. They have not played well, particularly last week against Indianapolis. Defensively, they were not what the Bills have been, and we might see a change in them tonight. Let's meet the offense of the Los Angeles Rams. We told you about Jim Everett. 5 games, second ranked after last week to Joe Montana. And Greg Bell, we spoke of him, fine running back, former Notre Dame All-American. Buford McGee will provide the blocking. Henry Ellard having a great year as an outside receiver. Veteran offensive line, a good one, getting a little long in the tooth, but nevertheless, very strong coming into tonight. Everett back on first down. Fires and is complete over the middle. Damone Johnson out over the 20-yard line.
What a hit by Ray Bentley.
Ray Bentley, one of the inside linebackers, where the Bills are missing Shane Conlon. There is the front 3. Fred Smerlas, the nose tackle. We'll see a lot of Leon Seals when they go to a 4-man defensive line tonight. There are the linebackers. Radicic filling in for the injured All-Pro Shane Conley, out for a few weeks with an injured knee. There is your secondary. They'll work on Kirby Jackson. The Rams will if they can. Number 47 filling in for an injured Derek Burrows. Second down. And as we thought we might see, Willie Anderson working against Kirby Jackson over on the left side. Willie Anderson with the great speed out of UCLA, second-round pick of a year ago.
Willie Flipper Anderson, and that guy number 47, Kirby Jackson, working against that time. Get used to seeing the Rams throwing in his direction. The Bills lost one of their starting cornerbacks a couple of weeks ago with a neck injury, Derek Burrows. Nate Odoms, the corner on the other side, is a real solid cover guy. And Kirby Jackson, make no bones about it, the man the Rams are going after tonight.
The first down is picked up by Anderson. The rain is starting to come down. It had lessened somewhat. It has been raining for over an hour, and Greg Bell gets his first attempt over the left side. Everything gentle, as Darryl Talley was there first, along with big number 78, Bruce Smith. Greg Bell getting out to about the 33-yard line, gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. And let's take a look at Bruce Smith.
Here is the big man inside. At times looks like he could be the best defensive lineman in the game, but oftentimes plays inconsistent. And I know a lot of people here in Buffalo are questioning Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett, wanting to see these two guys dominate the way they know they can. And a lot of eyes here in Buffalo are on number 78, Bruce Smith, and number 55, Cornelius Bennett as well. 2 guys that have to carry this defensive team.
Second, close to 7. Bell again. Good cutback by Bell. Loses his footing, but sprawls out to about the 33-yard line, short of the first down. Defensively, Scott Radicic was there.
Gain of 4, it'll be 3rd and 4.
The Rams have an addition on their offensive line. Irv Pankey, their regular starting left tackle, has been out several weeks because of a bad back, and he is back in there. And That does nothing but solidify one of the league's great offensive lines. Pankey, Newberry, Smith, Slayton, and Jackie Slater. An extremely talented group. I think they show that the way Greg Bell is able to step in for an Eric Dickerson with barely any loss in production.
Third down, a little over 3 yards. And going to Holohan. Fine third down receiver, clutch receiver. Big game last week against Atlanta, coming off a year ago when he made 59 receptions for these Rams. But when you want to go to him on third down, he usually fights his way clear. He'll bounce off linebackers, push off defensive backs. Good man to have around.
And that's what they call a sight read. The Bills came with a blitz that time, and that is an adjustment made by Holohan and by Everett. Everything has changed once the blitz comes. Both players made the adjustments, and what you see was a rather routine-looking first down. Not that easy.
First down. This time, the read between quarterback Everett and Pat Carter lacked a little something. That'll bring up second down and 10. Jim Everett, 6'5", 212-pounder, and Marv Levy, very calm, always seemingly in control of any situation. Former head coach of Kansas City back in the late 70s. Went up and coached up in the Canadian Football League with the Blitz in the USFL. Rams second down and 10. The ball just short of their own 45-yard line. Bell left side again. Bell taken out of bounds by Talley up near midfield. Of Bruce Smith, an all-pro and a pro bowler, and Cornelius Bennett over on the other side, number 55, but he is one of the fine linebackers in this game today.
I think Greg Bell on that last run, Frank, showed something that he's been able to do consistently throughout his career that most defenders don't think he can do, and that's get to the corner as easily as he did. Buffalo really had the angle on Greg Bell, and he's got a very deceptive running style. He was actually running all out when it looked like he was kind of just gauging his steps, looking to cut upfield.
Third down, four wide receivers for the Rams. Everett is back, gets the time, but has to hurry one off, and goes to Aaron Cox. He hung that up just too long, and Mickey Sutton, an unprotected free agent from Green Bay and working out of that dime package for Buffalo, gets over there.
Well, one of the advantages Mickey Sutton has going for him is that he is very used to the Los Angeles Rams. He used to be a Ram. He was up by Buffalo, so he may know this Ram club better than any player in the league.
It was fun to watch the Rams when they came out. A lot of the defensive backs went over to say hello to this man, Mickey Sutton. Dale Hatcher to punt for the Rams. Hangs it up high, allowing for good coverage, and Sutton has to call for and execute the fair catch at the 8-yard line. So the Rams hold the football, get no points out of it, and the Buffalo Bills offensive unit comes out onto the field, and we'll be back in Rich Stadium in just a moment. Reich opens at quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly out for several weeks with a separated shoulder, damaged last week against Indianapolis. You can't imagine the pressure on this young man. We talked to him yesterday, Dan and I, and he seemed very cool, very calm, very collected. Didn't seem to matter that he was opening on Monday Night Football against the undefeated Los Angeles Rams, and he takes control near the 8-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
But neither one of us was blitzing him, Frank.
That's true. He will see a lot of it, one would suspect, tonight. On first down, Reich is back and dumps it off quickly to Thurman Thomas, and Thomas breaks the tackle out over the 10 to the 12-yard line. And the Rams defense, suspect perhaps in the number of yardage they have given up in passing situations, but keep in mind the Rams have scored so many of their points early in the game as we look at the front three, and this will vary. We will see at times their Eagle defense, which will incorporate the use of a lot of linebackers. The Hawk defense, where they'll use only 2 down linemen and 5 linebackers. Thomas gets 5 yards out of it. It'll be second down and 5. Thomas again. Breaks it to the outside. Thomas up midfield. look at him again over the right side, and then he just used surprising speed.
Well, a breakdown by the Rams defensively. Mel Owens, their number 58, played the ball like he thought Thomas was going up the middle. The Rams way overcommitted to the center of the Buffalo offensive line, and Thurman Thomas making a rather routine cut to the outside. Really had no one there. That is good running by Thurman Thomas, but at the same time, a defensive breakdown by the Rams.
Jerry Gray, the cornerback, getting caught inside. The Bills' longest run thus far of the year. And this is Ronnie Harmon, who before Thurman Thomas came as a second-round draft pick a year ago, used to start at that running position. He's perfected other skills, fine blocker and a good outside receiver. And that'll tell you something about why John Robinson, the coach of the Rams, was talking with Dan and I last night, said they were seriously considering Thurman Thomas themselves, but they did not have an opportunity to get to him. Thurman Thomas out of Oklahoma State.
The longest run of the year so far against the Los Angeles Rams, who are giving up less than 100 yards a game in rushing average. And boy, what a plus for the Bills and Frank Reich, who's confused and has to take a timeout. And not a good sign, but nonetheless, better to take a timeout, be sure, than to make a mistake after a big run like Thurman Thomas's gives your team an emotional lift.
9:30 remaining in the first quarter. Sidelines, injured last week against Indianapolis, separated shoulder, will probably miss another 2 or 3 games.
Here's the injury. Look to the left of your screen. That's number 78, John Hand of the Colts, coming in, and watch how he follows through and takes Kelly to the turf. The left shoulder hits first, and Jim told me yesterday if that would have been my throwing arm, there's no doubt I would have been out for the balance of the year. As it is, hopefully the Bills are counting on him being back in 3 weeks.
2nd and 7 for the Bills. The Rams 47-yard line. Thurman Thomas breaks another tackle and gets outside. Flag is down as Thomas steps out of bounds inside or near the 40-yard line of the Rams.
And the way the Bills are acting, this will come back, a holding call.
Talented crew. Hopefully we will not see much of them.
Holding, number 51, offense, 10 yards, still 2nd down.
Jim Richer at the left guard position. Close to a 1st down, and that, of course, will be negated.
That's the first thing wrong the Buffalo Bills have done so far offensively. Jim Richer here is coming into your picture. Take a look here on the left side of your screen. Let's see if we can pick it up. He's coming over, trying to take a block there on Sean Miller. And he actually slips to the ground, and Miller goes down on top of him. And that's what the officials saw.
2nd and long, and it's picked off. Jerry Gray, the Pro Bowl cornerback of the Rams, picks off Frank Reich and brings it back to the 47-yard line of the Bills. Frank Reich a little hesitant in delivering that ball. Gray laying off it, stepped right in front and made the pickoff.
Well, it almost, watch Gray break on the ball well before Flip Johnson does. Now, there was some confusion. Either Flip Johnson was confused on what type of a route he was running, or it was Frank Reich that was confused. But that ball was thrown by Reich before Johnson even reacted to the ball. You could see Jerry Gray being the player that actually started moving towards the football before the intended receiver. That ball's nowhere near Flip Johnson. Johnson or Reich was thoroughly confused on what that pattern was supposed to be.
At the Bills' 47-yard line, Greg Bell. Hit there by Cornelius Bennett. Gains a yard, perhaps a yard and a half. There is Bennett.
Let's take a look at the great one from Alabama. Cornelius Bennett working against one of the very best offensive tackles in the game, Jackie Slater. Notice the way he rode Slater to the outside, all the while keeping his eyes on the ball carrier, and then at the last minute reacting back to the inside. Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith, I said it earlier, they have to play a superior game tonight to keep Buffalo in it.
2nd and 8, Holohan in motion. Everett looking for Holohan, flushed out of the pocket, and there is Bruce Smith getting away from Pankey, sliding around, and extraordinary quickness and speed.
Well, that's a good hustle sack by Bruce Smith, because when he gets to the pocket, Jim Everett had already left. And he's going to stay with it, no break in stride, working against Irv Pankey and Damone Johnson. He splits them both, but look how he stays with it. Has to run another 4 or 5 yards to haul down Jim Everett. And back-to-back plays by Bennett and Smith have moved the Rams backwards. This guy, when he wants to be, obviously emotional, but extremely talented.
He's working the crowd at the moment on 3rd down and 16.
Well, we've stopped the clock out on the field. Jim Everett is headed to the sidelines. The Rams have taken a timeout. They're confused, Frank.
3rd down and 16 for the Rams at their own 47-yard line. Everett out of time, looks for Holohan, finds Holohan. Mr. Clutch for these Rams, and he has 1st down yardage inside the 35.
This is a guy that has made such a difference coming over to the Rams.
Flag is down, however, and
well, I think that's going to be against Buffalo. They were across the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball. Is this going to go against the Rams?
both sides.
Both sides.
Holding number 75, offense, offside, left defensive end. The penalty's offset, 3rd down.
Art Still.
Well, you can see
Irv
Bruce
Pankey.
Smith, was the guy that caused the holding penalty, Irv Pankey, and he just got that left arm up there, and the holding penalty actually came in from the sidelines. And then on the far side of the ball, one of the Bills was offsides. I believe that was Cornelius Bennett. So a good break for Buffalo here. See at the top of the screen, there's Cornelius Bennett in the neutral zone at the snap of the football.
Ellard goes right on 3rd down and 16. He is the dangerous deep man. Not seen him yet. Draw play, Bell. 3rd and 16, you go with the draw, you bring up 4th down, and Rams get out to the 45-yard line. Leonard Smith there defensively, but that was a lot to ask for a 3rd and 16, a draw play.
But here are the Rams so far on 2 offensive possessions that haven't gotten anything done. Credit Buffalo into their defense. They overcame Reich's mistake.
Dale Hatcher to punt. Sutton is back. Hatcher hangs it high once again, and Sutton forced to call for the fair catch and bobbles the ball. Ball is loose at the 12-yard line. Rams are saying they've got it, and the officials are agreeing.
Well, you know that offensively, Buffalo is not going to be able to make many mistakes. How many times can you ask their defense to overcome it? But how many mistakes in your other aspects of the game are you going to be able to tolerate? Defensively, you know you need a great effort. Special teams, you know you need a great effort. They can't take this. The Rams have the ball.
Sutton apparently lost the ball. He was staggering all around. He had the fair catch indicated.
Well, he actually was screened away from the football. I think James Washington, a safety, number 37, actually kind of kept the move from back into the football.
Richard Brown comes up with the football. Rams good field position.
Watch Sutton as he attempts to move to the left. Washington may have screened him, may have distracted him. Certainly nothing illegal. That's the type of ball Sutton just has to get away from and not attempt to handle in traffic like that.
Inside the 12-yard line for the Rams. No score. 7:08 remaining in the first quarter. Bell left side. He's hit hard by Bentley initially and hammers his way inside the 15-yard line, a couple of yards. Dan was mentioning Bell is a deceptive runner. It doesn't look like he's getting that yardage, but when the pile ends its surge, he usually is tacked on a yard or two. 2nd down and long, and over the first few games, the Rams have liked to use number 81 as they've already used him this evening when they get down close to the goal line. 81, of course, Pete Holohan. That's Buford McGee, the single back. That's Ellard in motion. Trying to get it into the end zone, and Kirby Jackson was there. 2 Ram receivers in the same area. Ellard and
trying to pull it in with his left hand, but I think it was obvious from that angle that the ball slipped off the hand of Jim Everett when he threw it.
3rd and 9. It rained very hard before the game started. Obviously, the surface has water on it. When the ball snaps, you sometimes are going to get a wet football in your hand. McGee out of the backfield. They tried to cover him with a linebacker, and McGee inside the 5-yard line. Leonard Smith, Mark Kelso there defensively for the Bills, but McGee will have 1st down yardage, so it'll be 1st down, goal to go the Rams.
Well, that's just a very quick read by Jim Everett and Buford McGee. The minute Everett saw that McGee had the inside, the second he saw he had the inside, he releases the ball off his heels even though he's falling backwards. Well, and that's the kind of play that Jim Everett has brought to the Los Angeles Rams as he has matured.
McGee, like Holohan, came from the San Diego Chargers, which they played with offensive coordinator down there, or played for Ernie Zampese. As we watch Greg Bell trying to go over the top into the arms of Ray Bentley. But Ernie Zampese, of course, has changed this Ram attack dramatically.
And Frank, I think Bentley's hurt. Ray Bentley just flew in there and got the hit, but he took a leg right on either the shoulder or the helmet.
Bills have already lost Shane Conlon, their Pro Bowl inside linebacker.
Boy, what a nice effort by Ray Bentley, knifing through low.
Leading tackler for the Bills, Ray Bentley.
Now this is a loss if Ray Bentley is out for any period of time that the Bills just... You see this a lot of times. You take a blow to the hat where you're not in a position to protect yourself whatsoever. Watch it here from the left side of your screen. Down low. The first helmet I think you'll see coming in, that's Ray Bentley's helmet. And it looks like he makes contact with Greg Bell right on the knee. Bell going to the air and Bentley going down to the ground. You didn't see his neck bend down or anything, so hopefully that's just a dinger. Again, another look at it. See Bentley there, lower left. Greg Bell with the ball, number 42. Hard to tell from that angle the severity of the blow.
Bentley is on his feet. They're talking to him at the moment. And it would appear, well, we'll not speculate, but it would appear it just kind of lost it there for a moment.
They start with very basic questions in a situation like this. Your name, where are we? Trying to gauge the severity of that shot to the head.
At times they can be very difficult questions.
This guy has got to get back into the ball game, though. A big plus for the Bills when he's in there. Ray Bentley, a lot of leadership inside.
Bills have struggled thus far in the National Football League. They are ranked 22nd against the rush. And already this evening, the Rams have been able to exploit that somewhat. Second down for the Rams now. Ball at the 3-yard line. Second down, goal to go. Wide open is McGee out of the backfield. A little play action. Scott Radisick bought the play action for a moment, tried to get back for the coverage. No way he could get there. And the Rams get on the scoreboard first, 5:02 remaining in the first quarter. Marv Levy looking on and thinking.
Bruce Smith, Tom Newberry making some contact in the middle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the touchdown play. Here's Buford McGee right here. Just nothing but a quick fly. But watch Radisick here. Watch the one hop and then a second hop, and he's late getting out.
We'll re-kick from the 2-yard line, then we'll put a 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
That little hop to the inside by Scott Radisick is putting him in a position he can't recover in time to get out on Buford McGee. If you have one-on-one coverage with a back like that, you cannot afford to delay anything at all in your coverage.
Good handle by Pete Holohan to get that ball down for Mike Lansford as the Rams convert and take a 7-0 lead with 5:02 remaining in the first quarter. Now McGee is not necessarily one of the prime receivers for the Rams, and coming into tonight only 8 receptions. He is the man who usually provides the blocking for Greg Bell. Thus they try to cover him with the linebacker, thus a Ram touchdown. We'll be back in a moment.
Caught that touchdown pass. One of the guys that give the Rams one of the finest collection of running backs of any team in the National Football League. A great deal of talent. And there's Ray Bentley looking a whole lot better over on the Bills sideline. But talking about the Rams and their running backs, McGee, Robert Del Pino, Greg Bell, Gaston Green, Cleveland Gary, might be the deepest collection of RBs of any team in the league.
Lansford puts it up, and Ronnie Harmon will bring it out. And Harmon hit at the 12-yard line and hammered backwards by Brett Bernays.
Wouldn't you love to return kickoffs in the National Football League? What a great way to earn a living.
You know, Dan, as tough as it looks from up here, you know full well when you get down there, there is no sound quite like it.
I didn't even want to block on a kickoff return. I can't imagine the guy actually with the ball. Watch Ronnie Harmon. There is the hit. Look at Harmon stagger for another. He was going down regardless if any other Los Angeles Rams hit him or not. George Bethune, number 57, really put a tag on it.
Near the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Reich hands off to Thurman Thomas, and Thomas out over the 20 to the 21-yard line, hit there by Kevin Green.
The biggest problem with the Buffalo Bills, especially in recent history, has been turnovers. 7 turnovers last week in their loss to the Buffalo Bills. To the Indianapolis Colts, rather. The Colts turned those into 23 points. Now they've had 2 so far tonight, and the Rams have converted those 2 into 7 points. Marv Levy said, we're not asking Frank Reich to win the game for us tonight. All we're asking is that he not lose it.
2nd down and 8. Thomas again, and Thomas is met behind the line of scrimmage. Hammered there by the big nose tackle, number 99, Alvin Wright. That'll be a loss of a yard and a half. Thomas, 285-pounder. They use him in on the regular 3-4 defense, a nose tackle. Rams will show you a lot of alignments.
It's a different look. The official having to pick up a balloon. Alvin Wright in the middle. I'm not even sure until the very last moment if he even knew where the ball was. He had his head down, fighting through a double team block. One of those instances where he came up and all of a sudden, surprise, there's a ball carrier.
3rd down and 8. Reich is back. And in and out of the hands of his receiver Johnson, who was well short of a 1st down. Jerry Gray timing that hit perfectly.
But it was a high throw, Frank. That's the problem. Frank Reich put that ball up in a position where Johnson had to stretch way too high to get it. Tough to do to a receiver in the middle. Watch how high in the air he has to go. A relatively short pass, catchable, but still a receiver, when he knows he's going to take a lick, is going up and down in a hurry with those arms. There aren't many that are going to expose their ribs for any length of time.
John Kidd to punt, and Darrell Henley, a dangerous return man, is back for the Rams. But a poor kick by Kidd, and Henley will not have the opportunity. The Rams will have good field position, however. You know, this game of football creates some interesting situations, and one took place this past week that Dan and I have really been chuckling over here.
This is a college game between Linfield College and Pacific University. This is up in Minfield, Oregon. Now, I want you to watch this closely. We're going to have an interception. There's the watch the deflection. Tony Q not saying anything to the coach for quite a while, I don't think. You know, you really have to feel sorry for him. It's just an excitable move to come off the sideline. Seconds back onto the clock. And yeah, it's not often that, let's put it this way. I don't think that Linfield College and Pacific from Oregon are regulars on Monday Night Football. And you have to do something a little bit unusual to make it, and that certainly qualifies. But
I hope we don't set off a wave of that.
Well, I hope we don't too. I felt, though, Frank, that we had a journalistic responsibility to bring that.
I knew how. I heard you chuckling over it before the game. I know it was pure journalism on your part.
All Rams so far, over 8 minutes on the clock.
30 clock, second clock, operator. Reset the clock at 16 seconds. Leave it there till my ready for play signal.
That's the delay as Dick Jurgensen. This time he didn't ask for it. He ordered it. And they'll reset it according to Dick Jurgensen's wishes. And there it is. So the Rams have a 2nd down and 10 as Dick Jurgensen has everything sorted out. Ball in the 48-yard line of the Rams. Holohan in motion. This is Bell. And again, a big opening left side, and Bell up close to 1st down yardage. Goes down in the arms of Carlton Bailey.
Boy, sensational blocking at the point of attack. I mean, we're seeing some Buffalo defensive linemen here just moved off the ball. Newberry and Pankey are the left side of the line. Look at Newberry get all the way and pin Bruce Smith back to the inside. Pankey goes on downfield, takes on Bailey, and boy, it's just a situation where that time the blue jerseys just totally removed from the line of scrimmage by the Ram offensive line.
And Bell picks up the 1st down.
This is the point where the Buffalo defense from somewhere has to find something to hold on to this ball game. Jim Kelly isn't here to bring them back, and I don't know that Frank Reich is the guy that's capable of bringing them back from any sizable deficit. It's an unfair thing to ask. Right now, the pressure and the onus squarely on the shoulders of the guys in the blue shirts.
Ellard in motion. Bell again. And Bell breaking the tackle of Radicic. Spins down to the 36-yard line. Goes down in the arms of Leonard Smith. But not until he picks up 5 yards. Greg Bell is backing up what he had to say. Having a big night behind a tremendous offensive line of these Los Angeles Rams. And we'll be in Cleveland for this one. And I don't know whether any of you had the opportunity to listen to Mike Ditka with his post-game comments after the Browns lost yesterday to Houston. You know that the Bears are going to come into Cleveland growling, and we'll be there. They mark it near the 36, so it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Oh, nice ball.
Play action to Bell, and the handoff goes to Ron Brown, the speedster, but Cornelius Bennett, who had moved to the inside, he had that great speed and was able to recover and make the stop. The play fake to Greg Bell, the handoff to Ron Brown.
Yeah, watch this ball work. It's very nifty. Unfortunately, Cornelius saw it all the way, unblocked on the play, and look how he almost slipped. And Ron Brown, he with the tremendous speed, just didn't get a chance to get around the corner. Bennett played that beautifully, saw it all the way.
Loss of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and long. Call it 3rd down and 8.
Big down for Buffalo defense. Big down for them.
Everett looking deep for Anderson. Almost picked off as Mark Kelso, the free safety, was over there assisting Nate Odoms and underthrown somewhat, and almost the interception by Kelso.
Well, actually, it's a good thing Kelso got there, because that ball was so underthrown that Odoms didn't have a chance to react back to it. Odoms is going to be caught by how short this ball is, and it's Kelso who's going to come over from the left part of the screen here. He's going to be coming in from the left to make the play. You saw Odoms, number 37, well back and out of it. That might have been an easy touchdown for the Rams if it wasn't for Mark Kelso.
Hatcher again. And Sutton deep again for the Bills. This time Hatcher is going to put it close to the end zone, and this time Nicky Sutton moves away, and the Bills will get the ball out to the 20-yard line.
Defense had to summon up a big play. See, look how Odoms is removed there on the left. He's out of it. Now, granted, he's playing it that way because he's counting on that help from Kelso to the inside. Sometimes that safety doesn't get there in time to help you out. That time Mark Kelso did.
Kelso, the overachieving free agent out of William Mary from 1986, playing tonight. There's some question whether Kelso would be available because of a severe concussion from last week, but he makes a big play for the Bills, and they have a 1st and 10 at their own 20, and they give the ball to Thomas. And Thomas, big opening in the right side, and he moves it out close to the 28-yard line before Jerry Gray is there defensively for the Rams.
If Buffalo is able to do anything offensively for the balance of the night and stay in this ball game and maybe even eventually win it or challenge for it late, you have to look back to that past drive where they held the Rams as one of the keys in this ball game. Write it down and save it. It may be important later.
2nd down and 2. I just put it down. Thomas.
Oh, and another flag.
Flag goes down. That usually will mean holding. But Thomas had the 1st down, and that, in all probability, will be negated.
Buffalo mistake so far. Boy, a quarterback like Frank Reich, being new, needs all the help he can get.
Number 69, offense, 10 yards, still 2nd down.
Will Wolford over on the left side, the guilty Buffalo Bill, and that's so right. And the young quarterback needs all the help he can get in there tonight. Frank Reich, of course, coming into tonight, had thrown the ball about 40 times in his entire career. Let's take a look at it. Wolford is number 69.
Right there on the left side of your screen. Take a look at the work inside. It's pretty well had the arms inside, working on Sean Miller, and he grabbed him in there pretty good.
That'll make it 2nd down and 12. Flag goes down. A Ram had moved across the line of scrimmage. Right, breaks it to the outside.
That's a dead play. They're blowing the whistles before that one ever got underway. There was contact, so that play never happened.
Wolford again, I believe, over on the left side.
Yeah, you got a false start on the left tackle, Wolford.
False start, number 69, offense, will reset the clock at 2 seconds.
Wolford.
Reset the game clock at 2 seconds.
Wolford now 2 for 2.
Here he is right here, and he's just going to rock back in his stance well before the snap. Just an attempt to get up, and you see the movement by the Rams, but that doesn't matter. As soon as he comes out of his snap, as soon as he comes out of his stance, the play never happened. So they'll go back to 2 seconds left on the clock, and Buffalo will have another play.
Man, Buffalo will look at a 2nd down and 12.
Oop, now they let it run off.
They let it run, and that will be the end of the first quarter.
So away they go.
Rams on top, 7-0. Buffalo, 80,000 plus on hand tonight. The Buffalo Bills, of course, 3-2 in the AFC East. They need a win tonight to stay in first place. The Rams are undefeated, 5-0. They can remain that way, and a game ahead of the 49ers with the victory tonight. Thomas on 2nd down and 16 over the 15-yard line. Turnovers again, the story here tonight, as it was for Buffalo last week against Indianapolis.
Well, 2 turnovers by the Bills, throw in a couple of holding penalties as well, and have really negated some pretty good offensive movement by Buffalo. But up to this point in time, really not staggering numbers by the Rams. 66 yards is a very average first quarter production-wise. And this is nothing new to the Bills, making mistakes, more giveaways and takeaways in each of the last 8 years, and it's tough to win. Tough to win like that. Buffalo's an exception.
Reich this time from the shotgun. Screen, it goes to Thomas once again, and Thomas is covered quickly at the 20-yard line. And that will bring out the punting unit once again, and the Rams in their dime defense were able to read that.
Well, I think the Rams right now, Frank, are just disregarding anything 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and they are really flooding what's happening in the 20 yards up to the line. They know that Buffalo isn't going to take any chances with anything long downfield, and whether Frank Reich has a lot of experience or not, I don't think Buffalo has any choice but to stretch the defense. They have got to go vertical and throw the ball.
John Kidd, high towering kick. Darrell Henley calls for the fair catch at the 38-yard line. A flag is down at midfield. Darrell Henley, one of the fine punt returners in the nation a year ago, perhaps with the exception of Deion Sanders, maybe the best. Always a threat to take it back. That time Kidd had it up high, and he had to call for the fair catch.
Frank, we're going to have to watch it the next time Buffalo gets the ball. It's really gotten to the point where screens and draws and the short stuff just aren't going to get it. They've got to work the ball vertically. They have got to throw some long balls down the field. They've got to stretch the Ram defense, or they're just going to smother everything at the line of scrimmage.
Illegal block, number 25, receiving team.
Jerry Gray with the illegal block, and the Rams will begin their drive inside their own 28-yard line.
John Reich giving him a hand, and look how quick that was. Interference. Kirby Jackson hit Cox well before the ball got there, and yet Aaron Cox holds on to it.
That might have drawn a late flag had he dropped the ball. In any event, first down, Rams, their own 42-yard line. Del Pino, who got a little chance to show his wares last week when Greg Bell went out with a pulled hamstring, and this is the interference that probably would have been called had that ball been dropped.
Boy, that's some fine effort by Aaron Cox, taking a shot like that in the back from Jackson, and yet still holding on to the ball. But boy, wasn't that a good look from behind, how Cox moving the same direction as Jim Everett, giving him a target, and then Everett waiting until he was in the seam to throw the ball. That's what kind of a quarterback this guy's developed into. 2nd down and 6. Everett back again and looks deep for Ellard. In and out of the hands of Ellard, and Ellard collides with Kelso. Well, Ellard dropped that ball because he saw Mark Kelso. I have no doubt of that. Henry Ellard running that post into the middle saw Mark Kelso, and I think he took his eye off the ball. Here he is again. They are working against Kirby Jackson. We talked about that at the very outset of the game, and there is Ellard. He knows he's going to get hit. Kelso just kind of softly assisted him to the carpet. But I think you're right. The concentration broken, and look how he puts his head down. I mean, he sees Kelso coming all the way, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done exactly the same thing. No, I am casting no aspersions on Henry Ellard. That's an instinct to put your head down when you know you're going to take a shot like that.
3rd and 6, big opening left side, and this is Ron Brown.
Ooh, the ball's out.
Dropped it, and it's picked up by Nate Odom.
They're calling it down, though. They're going to say the ground caused the fumble.
They have marked it up at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to say the ground caused it.
That was Ron Brown who lost the ball, and they're saying that it will be marked at the 46-yard line. Here he is again. Take a look for yourself.
Remember, the ground cannot cause the fumble. Is that what caused the fumble here?
There's Kelsey.
No, that ball, hey, that ball's on its way out. That's a fumble. That is a fumble all the way. Kelso strips that ball from Ron Brown, but well before he hits the ground. The problem is with him ruling the ball down, there's the whistle problem. I think we might get a better look at it here from the reverse angle. The problem is, this is where instant replay is not going to come into play, because the referee is going to blow the whistle. That stops the play at that point, and irregardless of what happened, it doesn't matter. And there's a fumble by Everett.
Everett fumbles the ball, is loose, and a Ram
Greg
whips
Bell.
the arm out. Greg Bell, and collects the ball back at the 41-yard line.
I know a lot of you might have been saying there, wait a minute, why doesn't instant replay get in here and look at this thing before the ball is snapped? When a whistle blows on the field, there is no instant replay, because the officials are granted that protection in saying the play stops right there. There's no use in looking at it, because what happens afterwards doesn't count because the play was stopped.
So the Rams maintain possession. They lose the ball on the fumble from Everett back to their own 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3 at the 48-yard line. And Mark Kelso, and there was some question, as I mentioned earlier, as to whether he would play tonight. The free agent.
Well, how many times,
William and Mary?
How many times, Frank, have we seen Kelso now coming in? Now here's the end of the play, and Bruce Smith, seeing the interception, comes after Duval Love. And this is just big-time wrestling here. Nobody gets hurt in a struggle like that.
Reich is back and is batted away.
Well, this is
fast and furious here tonight. Doug Reed got a hand up there. I think it was Doug Reed, deflected the ball.
Well, if he didn't get a hand on it, he's sure taking credit for it. I think he gets his left arm up in the air.
Frank Reich.
Yeah, there's a good look at Reed right in the middle of your screen. 93.
Frank Reich is 6'4". Reed was able to get it up there, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, Ronnie Harmon comes in wide receiver now for these Bills. Now Johnson split to the left.
Buffalo's turn offensively to do something.
I agree. They have got to get away from their conservative mode, though, Dan, and let Reich give it a try. This time he's buried as he takes about a 2-step drop and tries to get it out to Flip Johnson, who wasn't there had he been able to deliver it. Johnson was in another mode of some sort.
Well, that's just really tough to take a drop that short. Boy, Mike Wilcher, number 54, he gets his left hand on it. Reed on 1st down, Wilcher on 2nd down, but I don't care how tall your quarterback is, when he's only taking a 2-step drop, it's tough to get over. And look how Wilcher was being held by Will Wolford. Wolford really had a hand on it. So the Buffalo offense, which is doing nothing, needs to do something.
On 3rd and 10, shotgun. Right. Rush from the pocket. His long suit is not the scramble. He'll tell you that himself, and he maybe gets a yard and a half out of it before Jerry Gray nails him at the sideline.
And look at Jim Kelly get right over there and put his arm around him, and didn't look like it was anything too technical. Some words of encouragement. Kelly there in the white hat.
John Kidd back out again as Jim Kelly with his arm in a sling, not expected to be back for at least 2 weeks, perhaps 3 with the separated shoulder. Darrell Henry is deep for the Rams. And Henry with the fair catch near the 23-yard line. So we have 10-14 remaining in the first half. Rams leading the Bills 7-0.
Poor punt.
That is the most physical game going, and getting more so.
You talk about taking some elbows and some licks to the chops. I'm not in any shape, manner, or form going to in any way diminish what an NBA player does. Bill Bradley, one of the greats.
I guess we could say equal time. Jack Kemp coming along a little later on, former Bills quarterback. We'll be talking with him. On 1st and 10, the Rams with a 7-0 lead. Start from the 22-yard line. It's Greg Bell once again, the workhorse, as he generally is. And there's Ray Bentley. We've been told he does not have a concussion. Perhaps lost it for a few moments, communing with Alf or something. But obviously it's not something terribly serious, or he would have been in the locker room.
We're being told that he may well return, although he's sitting with the cape.
2nd down and 7. That's Ellard in motion. And jumping it off underneath, this is Del Pino, a very versatile young back. Gain of about 4 yards up to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2. And a reminder, we'll be back with the 3rd game of the 1989 World Series, moving across the bay to San Francisco tomorrow night. It'll begin live at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific here on ABC Sports. Of course, Al Michaels out there looking on, I'm sure, sitting there in the hotel enjoying tonight's game with Linda. We'll be enjoying him tomorrow night. Everett back. This time look for Holohan, and Holohan well covered, and Everett well advised to dump it into the carpet, avoid any possible turnover. Good pressure on the part of Cornelius Bennett.
Yeah, it's good pressure by the entire Bill defensive line. Bennett's coming from the outside, but Everett's
a Bills bounce out of bounds near the 38-yard line. 8:44 remaining in the first half of the Rams on top of the Bills, 7-0. We'll be right back. Sports.
Frank, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised the quality of the basketball being played in Europe. That'll be good action.
Bills with the 1st down. Thurman Thomas tries it over the left side. Dukes along the tacklers.
Michael Stewart, number 1. Vince Newsom, the free safety, the 2nd leading tackler. That kind of gives you an indication as to the scheme played by the Rams. A lot of linebackers, few defensive linemen. They try to funnel everything into the middle, and Newsom and Stewart fly to the line of scrimmage. I mean, giving up less than 100 yards a game and having your 2 safeties as leading tacklers, it just doesn't seem to go hand in hand.
Reich back once again, fires and it's complete. McKellar, the tight end, and he gets the 1st down, and once again the Bills stay conservative but effective as McKellar gets into Ram territory at the 49-yard line, and again making sure that the youngster Frank Reich in his first start replacing Jim Kelly is not handling anything dangerous.
Well, Buffalo has moved the ball to the other side of the 50-yard line. That's somewhat of a minor victory. Can they keep it going? They need to help out their defense if they're to have a chance.
Number 83 is Andre Reed into the night with 35 receptions. He's not been a factor thus far, not even been an intended receiver. As Thomas works again. Near the 47. That'll be 2nd down and 8. And up for Oklahoma State. And
delivery, Frank, but I'm not sure of the wiseness of it. Jerry Gray all over Reed. And again, Jim Kelly with his left arm pressed up against his body, offering some words of encouragement. Jim Kelly, one of the more dominant quarterbacks in this league personality-wise, and Frank Reich has been the understudy, and now it's his moment to shine.
3rd down and 7. Reich doesn't have the strong arm to go deep to the outside. He's more of a touch passer than Kelly. Look out. They tried to get it to arm and almost picked off. Deflected up in the air by a Ram defender, and Vince Newsom was almost there.
Well, another group here. We've talked about various components of the separate teams, but Jerry Gray and Michael Stewart and Vince Newsom and Leroy Irvin are all over the Buffalo receivers. Now, I don't know if it's a passing scheme of the Bills or if it's just nothing more than sensational coverage by the Rams, but they are smothering everyone from Buffalo attempting to run a pass route.
Kid to punt for the Bills, and Henley and Irvin are back for the Rams. Fair catch once again by Henley. And he handles the ball at the 17-yard line, so the Rams will have possession once again. Not a pretty thing to watch thus far, but the Bills stay in it even though they are struggling offensively, and we'll be back in a moment. The last time these two teams met, November 27th, 1983. Johnny Johnson came down with one of 5 Ram interceptions and took it back 60 yards for a touchdown. It was John Robinson's first year as head coach of the Rams. The Rams going on to win 41-17. Johnny Johnson around at safety for a long time for these Rams, unprotected as a free agent this last year. Meanwhile, Rams with a 7-0 lead, 6:13 remaining in the first half, 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Greg Bell. They continue to work over in that left side behind Irv Pankey and Tom Newberry. Gain of a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Well, Dan Dierdorf and Frank Gifford, who's missing?
Well, the Buffalo offense is missing along with Al Michaels, and you're starting to get the impression that if Buffalo's to have a shot in this game, they're almost going to have to score defensively.
And I think what you said earlier, they're going to have to loosen it up. They've got the young boy in there. Let him have a chance.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to have to gamble some offensively. The Ram defensive backs are all over the Buffalo receivers short. They've got to go long. And right now, Buffalo's either going to have to pick up a fumble, get an interception, and run it in for a score.
Greg Bell over the right side, and Bell out to the 22-yard line. The ball is loose. Bell has not fumbled this year for the Rams, and the Bills are saying they've got it.
And so do the officials. Buffalo ball.
Jeff Wright covers for the Bills, and this is what John Robinson was saying. One of the great pluses with Greg Bell, he does not fumble the football. He does not turn it over, and this time he's stripped of it by his former teammates. And the Bills get the turnover we were talking about as it happened.
Well, it was Bell attempting to get some extra yards on a 2nd and 3rd effort. Bouncing off tackle, see the ball come out from the far side of the field. Bell will be moving to our left. Now there he's hit first. Look at him stay alive. Hit again. Bounces off tacklers. He still has the football at that point. Oh, and there's the ball. You can see.
Seconds.
Jorgensen is getting a little hot about this.
At 16 seconds. Please leave it there until you see my ready for play signal.
That's twice Jorgensen has had to correct the timer here at Rich Stadium.
Well, I didn't mean to be so prophetic when I talked about the Buffalo defense having to do something, coming up with a fumble or an interception or whatever, but here they are now just outside the 20-yard line. This is a position where the Bills offense, if you've got a play, if you've been hiding something, Frank, something you think that you saw a weakness in the Ram.
Andre Reed, he has represented so much of their offense.
Now resets the 30-second clock at 16 seconds.
Again, look at that graphic, folks. One fumble in his previous 13 games.
Man does not fumble. That time it was stripped out. But getting back to Andre Reed, he has represented so much of the Bills offense, and with Frank Reich at quarterback, other than Jim Kelly, he has been almost taken out of the game for the Bills, and that's tough to do and move the football.
The attack of the killer tomatoes. Or is that a pumpkin? I'm not sure.
Witches and goblins. That's,
well, I've never seen a pumpkin with a...
Looking for Indianapolis.
Kind of a red.
1st and 10, the Bills. They trail 7-0. 5:23 remaining in the first half. Thurman Thomas, left side, yard and a half the most. Bills deep, not the top one. Forget the belly and the hula dancers. Buffalo Bills defense. Please come back. All is forgiven. Need you now more than ever, the city of Buffalo.
And to this point, they have
Exotic what on the don't take down that number.
Well, Frank. Why do you call attention to that?
What? My mind. 2nd and 10. That's Reed in motion. Metzelaars was moving as Andre Reed was also in motion.
Number 28 and number 88 offense decline. 3rd down.
Well, that brings up 3rd down, putting the pressure right on Frank Reich. I'm sure they had that in mind, the Rams.
It's Larry Kinnebrew.
The Bills with a very accurate field goal kicker in Scott Norwood. Pro Bowl field goal kicker, that is.
Pete Metzelaars, number 88, the tight end, the other guilty party. And again, a lot of flopping around by the Buffalo offensive team.
3rd down and 10. Frank Reich having a difficult time moving Jim Kelly's offensive unit.
Not getting much help either.
Incomplete. Intended for McKellar.
Night.
38-yard attempt by Scott Norwood. He's 5 of 7 thus far in the year. Again, the AFC Pro Bowl place kicker from last year. And the Bills are on the scoreboard. And they trail the Rams 7-3. 4:10 remaining here in the first half.
Well, all 10 points that have been scored so far have been the results of turnovers. The 3 points for Buffalo coming now after the fumble by Greg Bell.
We talked earlier about how unhappy Mike Ditka was with what happened yesterday, the Bears losing to Houston. Here was his post-game comments.
We're just not playing aggressive football. We look like we're scared out there. We have an opportunity on offense to scramble with the ball. We fall down. We don't scramble. Yet their guy scrambles for 25 yards. We have opportunities to make plays on defense. We don't make them. Then we get caught in the middle of referees who don't know what the hell they're doing. It gets to be a problem. It gets to be a problem, yes. And am I aggravated? Yes, I'm aggravated because I don't remember feeling this bad in 1982 when I knew we couldn't play football. Now, I don't know if we're capable of winning another football game. I don't think we are at this point. This football team is in disarray, and we are not very good.
Mike Ditka, and again understating it, as he always seems to be able to do.
You could believe those words if that was Jimmy Johnson talking, but Mike Ditka and the Bears not winning another game, I don't know, Mike. I think a lot of other coaches might be willing to jump into your shoes and take over that club.
We'll see him in Cleveland next Monday night against the Browns. Scott Norwood bangs it. Taken by Ron Brown. And Brown upended out at the 22-yard line by Tasker. Steve Tasker racing down the field for the Bills and really nailed Ron Brown.
You know, you have to go back to what Mike said, though. He is justified in what he has said about his ball club. They are not playing the way the Chicago Bears are capable of playing, especially defensively, giving up a lot of points and a lot of turnovers. What was Mike Tomczak, I guess, was intercepted 4 times. Look at that graphic. That is staggering when you think of the personnel that are playing for the Chicago Bears defensively.
I'll tell you, Mike Ditka still is refreshing to me, even though he hasn't changed a lick. He says exactly what he thinks. You can be the quarterback or you can be the water boy. You're going to get the same kind of comments, the same straightforward comments from Mike Ditka. First down, Rams. Bell, left side. This time it's stacked by Radisic and the Bills' right side, and there will be a loss to the 20-yard line of a couple.
Well, that's a great read by Scott Radisic. The Rams attempting to run the old counter gap, pulling the offside and bringing them across. Slater and Slayton, and Radisic reads it perfectly, comes right in off their butts and makes the tackle in the backfield. How can you praise the Buffalo defense enough tonight the way they're playing? Scott Radisic starting at inside linebacker in the position normally occupied by Shane Conlon.
Second down and 12. Everett puts the ball out to Del Pino, and Del Pino still on his feet, and he works it down near the 45-yard line. Radisic was there defensively, and flag is down at the line of scrimmage, and the Rams were holding. They'll bring it back. And now the Rams make the mistake.
Well, what an effort by Del Pino. Breaking a couple tackles, staying alive.
Number 67, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Good football player, this young Robert Del Pino. Great on special teams. Had a chance to run the ball a little bit last week when Greg Bell went out with a slight hamstring. They also had a chance to look at Cleveland Gary, their first-round draft pick out of Miami. They've got some running backs. How about Gaston Green? They can't use them all.
Fit him in there. And meanwhile, that holding call was against Duval Love, sitting in there at right guard. And what a costly penalty for the Rams.
Second and 22. You know that Jim Everett has been cautioned. Be careful with this one. And that's what we get. A lot of concern.
Pass rusher.
Right now, the Rams have to be concerned with the outside rush of not only Bruce Smith, but Cornelius Bennett, perhaps. And The fact is, whatever they're going to try to do to get a first down, if they try to get the first down with the long pass, it's going to take a long time, and I think they'll probably go with something underneath and try to get the yardage with the run. That time they just had to unload it.
Well, he hit the umpire with the ball.
Everett, with the pressure from Smith and Bennett, had to unload the football. Bruce Smith is having a Bruce Smith night tonight.
Well, they come from both directions. Cornelius from Everett's right, Bruce Smith from his left, and they play the old meet me at the QB game.
Carried the Bills throughout this entire first half, and it was something they knew they had to do going in, and they have executed tonight.
It's even more surprising when you think that Derek Burrows is out, Kirby Jackson filling in at cornerback, Ray Bentley has not played since very early in this game with the head injury, and Shane Conlon, whom they lost in the Denver game on Monday night several weeks ago. I mean, that even magnifies the effort.
Time remaining in the first half. The Bills down 7-3. Airing one out is Reich. And a little bumping and grinding there with Flip Johnson and Leroy Irvin, but no flags. Irvin with good position. Pro Bowl cornerback, great position on Johnson.
If it's not for Flip Johnson harassing Irvin, that's an interception. This ball severely overthrown, and watch Flip Johnson as he has to get into the face and actually hook the arm of Leroy Irvin. If anything, that should have been offensive pass interference against this man, Flip Johnson, but he got away with it and he helped his ball club.
You saw Irvin, though, looking at Flip Johnson until Flip Johnson looked back for the ball. Great play by the super cornerback. 2nd and 10. Shotgun for the Bills. Reich fires it complete. Reed short of the first down to the Rams' 41-yard line.
Boy, that's about the first time Andre Reed has been anywhere near the football tonight. A lot of noise about Henry Ellard with his 35 receptions, but that's the same number that this guy had coming in tonight. And Buffalo making a little noise, albeit not a lot, but a little.
World Series game number 3. Meanwhile, the Bills have a 3rd down and 1 with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and Thomas almost breaks it.
Well, that's no fumble.
No fumble. He was down, but he gets inside the 35-yard line. 1st down, Bills. Vince Newsom made the stop for the Rams.
Boy, nice trap from inside. I think Jim Richer, the left guard, comes out and makes the trap. Watch Jim Richer at left guard. See him pull? Boy, he gets the kick out right at the line of scrimmage, and that's where Thurman Thomas, showing his athletic ability, right over the top.
Right from the shotgun on 1st down. Fires underneath. Oh, Andre Reed was trying to run before he handled it. Andre Reed, as Dan mentioned a moment ago, into tonight's game with 35 receptions. 2nd in the NFL, and tied with Henry Ellard into tonight's game.
How about the way Andre Reed is built physically? He looks more like a strong safety or even a small version of an outside linebacker, and an extremely strong and muscular wide receiver.
2nd down and 10.
And Reich calls the timeout.
Reich had 13 seconds on the 30-second clock, so I think he probably got just a little bit confused with the defense that the Rams had presented. Uses a timeout.
This is still going to leave Buffalo with 1 timeout left, so if there is any confusion at all with the 2nd and 10, not all that bad a time to use it. As long as you leave yourself that 1 timeout, that if you have to on a drive to stop the clock to get your field goal team out onto the line of scrimmage.
That was Teddy Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator with the glasses on, who was with Marv Levy when they both worked under George Allen back in the early 70s. Probably it's reflected somewhat in their philosophy about this game, and that is a very conservative one. It has been over the years offensively here with Marv Levy and Marchibroda. 1:26 remaining. The Rams over the Bills 7-3. 1 timeout for the Bills. Reich with a lot of time. This time Reed holds on, hit at the 31-yard line by Jerry Gray, and a pickup of only about 4 yards, and the Bills down to that 1 timeout will go without the huddle.
But there's over a minute left on the clock, inside a minute 10. They've got time to be a little bit deliberate about this.
Reich tried to get it to Thurman Thomas and almost picked off by Mike Wilcher. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Mike Wilcher has terrific speed for a linebacker, and he almost picked that off. The yardstick is wrong. It will bring up 4th down, and they still have not changed it, but Scott Norwood is on. "47-yard attempt.
Long enough, I think.
Just carries. Scott Norwood just carries the crossbar. So the Bills have 6 points from Scott Norwood, and a great defensive effort by their entire defensive unit, headed, of course, by Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith. A look again, and this just does reach.
One of the toughest things for a soccer kicker is when you're attempting a long field goal is to get it up high enough to clear the line of scrimmage and yet get enough leg into the ball to clear the crossbar. Look at this. Boy, that's a fabulous shot, guys. That ball did not clear the crossbar by more than a football. That was a foot or less as it sailed over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, and I pointed out he was a Pro Bowl kicker for the AFC a year ago, but his career best is only 49 yards. And he was right at the edge of it. Now look once again.
Tough to get a better perspective than this look right here. I mean, you can see the shadow of the ball.
And read the Pete Rozelle on it. That brings the crowd to its feet. And with 56 seconds remaining in the first half, it will be nice to go into the locker room with a few more points on the board.
This has to be a situation where the Rams look up at the scoreboard and see where they're leading by a point, and they must want to slap themselves on the way into the clubhouse for their halftime get-together. the Rams defensive team must say, I can't believe this is happening.
Ron Brown from the 17-yard line for the Rams. And upended at the 25, sprawls to the 27. Steve Tasker once again hustling downfield for the Bills.
And we've got another little tete-a-tete.
It'll be 1st and 10 Los Angeles at the 27.
This one more reminiscent of a baseball gathering at the mound. And guess what? We got Al and Timmy and Jim tomorrow night.
I'll have Al at halftime reporting on tomorrow night's game.
There was a movie, Desperately Seeking Susan with Madonna. I think this is the Giants desperately seeking win. But they're down 2-0 to the A's.
Well, they at least they move across the bay back home. Rams first down at their own 27-yard line. Unable to unravel the mystery of the Bills' defense. Bell again for a couple of yards near the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And the Rams more than content to just go back and sit around their huddle. Now here you go inside 30 seconds. This is a situation where I don't know, it's not that bad an idea to go ahead and air it out. Let the clock run down a little bit. Let Buffalo maybe think you're going to sit on it and maybe just pop it up into the line of scrimmage and go ahead and throw a long pass. Maybe you'll get a defensive penalty.
It'll be interesting if they do from this offensive set.
Oh, you can do it. Darn right. I wouldn't have hesitated at all to come out of there and throw the ball all the way downfield. What do you have to lose?
I'm not so sure they would have done that in Anaheim, would they?
What do you have to lose?
They let, and the Bills trail by 1. That's the way they look at it here in Buffalo. The undefeated Los Angeles Rams at 5-0, and taking on the 3-2 Bills, and they trail at half by 1 point.
A tribute to the spirit of competition from MCI. Proof that...
Our first nominee is Golden Richards, who had 90 receptions in 6 seasons with the Cowboys in the 1970s. None was more acrobatic than this catch against the Chiefs in 1975.
3rd down and 6. The ball at the 15. Score is tied at 10. Play action fake by Staubach. Going for Golden Richards, and he one-handed a beautiful catch. Staubach never saw. He was buried by Tom Keating as Golden Richards one-handed the ball in the end zone, bobbled it in the air.
Let me tell you,
came down with it.
that's as good a catch as you're going to see.
Throughout the 70s and the 80s, the NFL has had a number of outstanding tight ends. Russ Francis was one of the very best, and he scored 10 of his 40 NFL touchdowns on the Monday night stage.
Kavanaugh back. Going deep for Francis. He's got it. And Russ Francis somehow comes down with it in the end zone using his height of 6'6". Beautiful play.
I really don't know of another tight end in the world that can make that play.
Tony Hill caught 15 touchdown passes on Monday Night Football, more than any other player. This one helped the Cowboys rally from a 20-point halftime deficit to a season-opening win over the hated Washington Redskins.
From the shotgun, Danny White going for Tony Hill. One hand grab. Touchdown, Dallas.
I can't believe Tony Hill.
It was Anthony Washington, recently acquired from Pittsburgh, who was back there trying to cover.
Oh, had to be right there. That is amazing. That was a terrific catch, Tony.
Finally, remember the so-called replacement games during the players' strike of 1987? One of the Giants that night was Louis Bennett, who scored the only touchdown of his 3-game NFL career on this pass from Jim Krochikia.
From the 46, after a first down. Going deep, Krochikia, and he makes the catch despite the interference. Bennett with a fabulous catch. Derek Martin was all over him.
Okay, now to enter your vote, just call 1-900-339-1ABC. Back, and this is his first play from scrimmage in a day that resulted in 148 yards.
He's going to lose his shoe right here. And if it's not for this tackle by Timmy Harris, the linebacker, I mean, Herschel is gone with a touchdown on his very first carry. And Mike Lynn, I think, said it best. If Herschel takes us to the Super Bowl, it was a good trade. If not, it was a bust.
Well, he most certainly has added another dimension. That's the first time the Minnesota Vikings have had a 100-yard game out of a rusher for a long time, and he does fit so well with that offensive lineup. A big, power, strong back they've never had.
Well, that was a hole he never saw while he was in Dallas, a hole that big, and I guess we get to see him in a couple of weeks as they go to the Meadowlands to play the Giants.
Indeed, and of course, a week off reported last week. He spent a couple of days in practice, and he went up against Kansas City, and not a bad performance from Bo Jackson.
Well, almost 8 yards a carry on his average, and as you said, with only several days practice, it really defies description what this man can do athletically on a football field, and that's just good instinctive running. A play designed to go around right end, cuts it all the way back across the formation, and look what he's done. Art Shell is 2-0. By the way, some Raider news we ought to pass along. Mike Shanahan, the former coach of the Raiders, today was rehired by the Denver Broncos and Dan Reeves. So Mike Shanahan now back where he started with the Broncos.
Of course, Dan Reeves saying the moment that Shanahan was fired that he'd like to have him back if he wanted to go back, and he is back, and he goes back to a team that's pretty good right now, the Denver Broncos. They're doing all right.
And Big Art 2-0, huh? What do you think of that?
I like that.
Tackles, they can do it.
Those tackles can do it. Take it out. And makes a good decision as Harmon moves out close to the 25-yard line, where the Bills will have their first offensive possession. Clifford Hicks is the hustling Ram. So Frank Reich comes back out, and as we have been commenting throughout the entire first half, most of the offense for this young quarterback has been very conservative on the part of Marv Levy, and has taken a lot of the Andre Reed attack out of the game for the Bills.
He's got to throw the ball long, even if it's an incompletion. You've got to serve notice on the Rams and their cornerbacks that you have got to go deep with the ball.
First and 10, the Bills from their own 27-yard line. Dermot Thomas bobbled it for a moment, held on to it. Now he coughs it up again. The ball is loose. Vince Newsom up there to make the contact, and Michael Stewart is there for the recovery.
Oh, what a hit by Vince Newsom. Vince Newsom comes up and puts a prime-time tag on Thurman Thomas.
He never by Talley, had to unload it, and a dangerous pass falls incomplete.
Well, again, the Bill defense put in an awkward position by the inability of their offense to do anything whatsoever. They've been up to it the entire first half, as repeatedly they thwart the Rams in everything they try to do. This is a great offensive line that protects Jim Everett, and yet the Bills tonight have mounted a pass rush virtually every time Everett's gone back to throw. You have to give the Bills and their defensive line, their front seven, a lot of credit.
Ellard, top of your screen, and that's Anderson in motion. Greg Bell on 2nd down and 10. Bills defensive right side.
It's almost as if the Bills knew a draw was coming, a delay of some sort. You could see Cornelius Bennett, who was on the near side of the line of scrimmage, wasn't even in an all-out pass rushing stance. He was back on his heels in a reading position all the way. I wonder if they're seeing something in the Rams offensive scheme that led them to believe that that was not going to be an all-out pass.
Smirlis, number 76, the Bill that Greg Bell has maligned, as having a problem with when he was here with the Bills earlier, made the stop, and Everett is back again.
And there's the blitz, and it works.
Down goes Everett. Bruce Smith is having a night.
You know, I really don't know how he gets away with that. You know, some players, they're awful tight on governing the amount of a celebration you're allowed to have after a sack. And Bruce Smith flopping around on the field, that's not all that much different than what Mark Gastineau used to get away with the New York Jets. And yet it doesn't draw a flag. And here are the Rams into a quick punt formation, and they catch the Bills with too many men on the field.
Flag is down. Rams didn't even bother going into the huddle before Dale Hatcher and the punting unit lined up. He put the ball in the air.
Well, the flag went. I think the Bills had too many men on the field. But with the quality of that punt and where it's down, it's not going to give the Rams a first down. It would just give them the opportunity to kick again. I assume they'll decline.
Speed of that punting unit coming onto the field was the fact that that sack took the Rams out of possible field goal position. Very timely on the part of Bruce Smith.
Well, let's see what this 5 yards does. The 5 yards may put them within they may want to try a long Lansford field goal.
John Robinson.
They may move this ball up to about
the sidelines.
They may take the penalty and try the long field goal. If you're going to punt again, you're going to keep that one. But if the 5 yards might put you up around a 50-yard field goal, I think the Rams will kick it.
The flag was for 12 men on the field. One man counted 12, one counted 11. We're asking replay to freeze the play and recount.
Stadium. If you can see the entire field, because keep in mind on a punting team, the team is split with wide receivers on either side.
Well, even if they agree to compromise, 11.5 is still a penalty.
11 1/3, will you believe? And again, this is a critical call for both teams because it could bring out a Ram field goal attempt.
And I don't know that we're going to be able, the onus is kind of on us as the network covering the game to provide a look to where you can see the entire field and count 11 or 12 people. And I don't know that we're going to be able to do that.
Again, on the punting team, you're going to split with wide receivers on either side. Let's take a look, see if we can come up with anything.
There's your replay booth, which is recessed all the way back. George Sladke is our replay official, and this is the widest look that Kenny Wolf and Larry Cam are able to give us tonight.
Again, though, you don't see anything at the bottom. I don't think anyone was there, but it certainly is not definite that there was not a Ram split to the right and a Bill there with him.
Yeah, I only see 8 in this look right here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now let's roll it and not count those 8 and see if we can see any more. There's 9 right there. And number 10 is back here receiving the ball.
Certainly nothing definitive that we can see.
Well, if they've got one with 10, one with 11, and one with 12, and they can't prove anything with replay, I think they're going to have to pick up the flags.
And I think we're going to see Mike Lansford. The Rams are trotting him out onto the field, and Dick Jorgensen apparently has made his decision to penalize the Bills. Well, it's logical. If he saw 12, he saw 12, while the man who saw 11 perhaps didn't see one.
Well, there's only one flag on the field. Okay, let's start at the beginning. One flag on the field. That came from the official that counted 12. Or is Dick Jorgensen going to ask him to pick it up? That's what it's come down to.
I would have.
Replay does not have a correct picture. The man responsible for counting the defense had 11 men. Therefore,
who was counting the 12?
Well, one of the other officials who it was not his responsibility.
Reporting to that official.
And I think it was the side judge in front of the Bills bench who caught them with a player on the field who was running off. And I think what happened, that player running off was the 11th man, not the 12th man. And the Bills only had 10 men on the field.
So the Bills will take over at their own 6-yard line, first down and 10. And again, very conservative, as well you might suspect, as Kennebrew bulls ahead for a couple of yards out near the 9-yard line.
This game isn't supposed to be that complicated, is it? But I'm sure now that we look back on it that that's what happened. The official in front of the Bills bench with a player running off the field saw that he didn't make it off the field by the time the ball was snapped, threw the flag, but in reality that was just Buffalo's 11th man running off the field, leaving them with only 10 on the field because we counted the 10 on the replay.
All right, second down and 7. Kennebrew got 3. Reed in motion. And Thurman Thomas this time over in the left side, out to the 10-yard line. I think that's exactly what happened. And again, the fact that he probably reported to the official responsible for the count on the field, saying that he saw the 12th man leave the field. So
critical for
right
the Bills because that would have given Lansford a shot at a long field goal. And so here is Buffalo, even though they haven't done much, still within a field goal of the lead.
Third down and 6. Ted Marcher brought it. Not getting his young quarterback in any kind of problems if he can avoid it. They've been very conservative all the way, counting on the defense. There was something a little different as Ronnie Harmon takes a short snap deep in their own territory on a third down and 6. We're talking about a conservative offense, and that is about as wild as you're going to get. Boy, and Harmon almost lost it and was able to recover and get the first down.
Oh, but what a run by Ronnie Harmon. What an effort as he breaks 2 and 3 tackles and then carries a couple Rams to get the distance for the first down. You know, that's motion on Frank Reich. Frank Reich is actually pulling out before the snap of the ball. The Bills got away with that one. All right, there's Harmon almost going down, stays on his feet. Another contact from a Ram, and Harmon's going to get another 2 yards. If he goes down right there, he doesn't get the first down.
At the 19-yard line, the Bills have the first down. Reich again with that short setup. No more than a 3-yard drop at the very most, and the intended receiver, Andre Reed.
We've got a flag down, Frank, at the far side of the field, about the 28-yard line.
And it will work against the Rams. Jerry.
Illegal contact, number 25, defense, 5 yards, first down.
That contact by Jerry Gray against Andre Reed.
Here it is right here. You have a 5-yard zone. Now here's the receiver. That 5-yard zone is going to end right here. Watch Gray and where the bump actually takes place. The ball's at the 18-yard line. You can't bump beyond the 23, and there's the bump clear up at the 27-yard line, and that's where the flag comes from. Jerry Gray.
With nobody obstructing him, and nails Thomas for a loss. Reminder, Saturday on ABC's College Football, Michigan will move into Iowa to tackle the Hawkeyes. Or you'll see a Pac-10 matchup as UCLA takes on Oregon State. So check your local listing for the game that you will be watching in your area beginning live at 3:30 Eastern next Saturday. And next week, of course, we are going to be traveling to Cleveland. You saw Mike Ditka a few moments ago, very upset with the way the Bears are playing. They take on the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland, of course, having their problems last week, as did the Bears. Should be quite a matchup. Monday Night Football from Cleveland, the Browns and the Bears. Second down and 12, the Bills. Thomas again. Good cutback by Thomas, gets a couple of yards. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
Center, that's
Still start counting again.
That's one way to run power football.
Third down and 10. Bills near their own 23-yard line. Thrown. Beebe was also there, and that will bring up fourth down. And Frank Reich, who used to back up Boomer Esiason at the University of Maryland, having his problems here tonight. Talked to Frank yesterday, and he said he had talked to Boomer a couple of times this week. Esiason had planned to come up, but decided against that. John Kidd to punt for Buffalo, and Darrell Henley, the All-American from UCLA, who is averaging over 18 yards on 6 returns for the Rams, is deep.
What a punt.
And Henley from his own 20-yard line. And Henley back out close to the 37-yard line. The Rams will take over. 9:30 remaining here in the third quarter. The Rams still lead by 1. We'll be back in Buffalo in a moment. Rams first down and 10, the ball at their own 39-yard line. Jack, of course, quarterback these Bills from 62 to 69. Everett with the toss to Greg Bell, and Bell out to the 40-yard line. Violent collision there. Smurla slides out to make the stop. It'll be second down and 9. And here is Jack Kemp back in 1962. And
give me a break.
The youthful look of young Jeff Kemp.
The Patriots
tried to pick up the receiver. Is that Dominion?
No, that was Haven Moses.
Haven Moses.
Yeah, many years ago, before you were even.
Oh, thank you. Jack, by the way, came up with the Giants back in 1958.
Yeah, 31 years ago, Gifford. You and I were teammates.
Well, we were so youthful and precocious. Second down and 8. Everett under pressure again, and he fires. Pass intended for Johnson, the tight end. Simone Johnson and Leonard Smith up there defensively, and it'll bring up third down, long yardage.
And this is a frustrated man right now, John Robinson. He can hardly believe that his offensive team, with all this firepower, has been just so completely throttled by Buffalo and their defensive team, which has not been playing well. Not been playing well at all in recent weeks, and they are turning in an 11-man Pro Bowl effort so far tonight.
Third down and 9. Smith and Bennett cocked and ready. They
Double blitz.
Everett reads it, and almost one-handing it is Henry Ellard, but it gets away from him, and the Bills defense has done it once again.
Yeah.
Jack, you played your games where? In the Armory? Not on the old War Memorial Field?
War Memorial Stadium, right. They're tearing it down right now, but I think Dierdorf put his finger on it. I had lunch today with Jim Kelly at the ABC 20-year anniversary, and Kelly said that the defense is just fired up. They really want to win. They think they can win. And they miss Kelly, obviously, but the defense, as Dierdorf has said, has really kept them in this game.
Jack, it's unbelievable. Of course, I want to get your comments on the next series about some of the problems Frank Reich is going through. You can certainly sympathize with his situation.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Well, they've got to start throwing, even though it's in.
Please reset the clock at 17 seconds.
Problem we've had all evening with getting the proper setting with the 30-second clock. And Dick Jorgensen again calling for the clock to be reset.
Go ahead, Jack, on your thoughts.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with what you said earlier. They've got to throw, even if it is incomplete. They've got to force the Rams into a different type of defensive formation, because they're not even able to run a bit.
They're just squatting on everything up.
Right.
Hatcher to punt, and here is a dangerous return man from UCLA, or the former Ram return man, Nicky Sutton. And Sutton handles the ball at the 13-yard line and gets it up to the 19-yard line. So the Bills get the football back deep in their own territory. They still trail by 1. Again, thanks to a tremendous defensive effort. We'll be back in just a moment. Fitness on Monday Night Football, 69% have voted for Lewis Bennett. And again, Dan Dierdorf, Frank Gifford with Jack Kemp, former Buffalo Bills quarterback, San Diego quarterback.
Very former.
You can have a chance to get back up, Jack. I know it's been
we came up. I was really thrilled to be with you and Dan today at the 20th anniversary of ABC's Monday Night Football and see the old Bills and see Coach Saban and Jim Kelly. I think the Bills are really missing Kelly tonight, but other than that, I think the story of this game is the Bills' blue-collar defense.
As crazy as your life has been, Jack, I mean that only in the sense of being very busy. Do you have a chance to visit
President Bush's cabinet and look forward to seeing my old teammates like you, Frank?
Reich is back on 1st and 10. The Bills up their 19-yard line. The intended pass for Thurman Thomas is incomplete.
And a flag came in from the far sideline, and I don't know. This came from the head linesman on the far side of the field. If it's holding, Howard Ballard.
It's indicated against the Buffalo Bills.
It was to the right side of the formation. Kennebrew was over there. Howard Ballard, the right tackle, was in the vicinity as well.
Holding number 28, offense declined. Holding number 75, offense accepted after distance to the goal line. First out.
Okay, here's Larry Kennebrew working against Kevin Green, and that's a pretty good tackle. That's a pretty good tackle. It didn't really drive Green into the ground. His feet slipped out from under him, but that was the one that was actually declined by the Rams. They accepted the other holding call against Howard Ballard. Take your pick football for the guys in the yellow pants.
And it backs the Bills up to inside their own 10-yard line. First down, 17. Reich, Andre Reed, Gray is there, and Reed goes down at the 15-yard line.
And again, when we watch Frank Reich work in this situation, and Jack, you can certainly comment on this as well. I think back to yesterday, what Marv Levy said, we're just not looking for Frank to win this ball game. We're just looking for him not to lose it. And that's especially critical now at this end of the field and the way your defense is playing.
It may be, though, Dan, that they're so anxious for him not to lose the game that they're not opening up enough to give the team itself a chance to play up to the quality of football that they could play. They miss Kelly, but you can't play defensively on offense the whole game. They've got to open up a little bit more.
Good point. Second down and 13. Reich is back.
There they go.
Fires again. That very conservative type of pass over to Pete Metzlars, the big tight end. Mel Owens is there defensively. The yardage far short of a first down. And the Rams will bring their dime package out, and we'll see 4 wide receivers for the Bills. And Jack, if it doesn't work out, in the president's cabinet, we don't know many people have gone from the huddle to the Congress to the cabinet. There must be only one job left.
Hey, I could use the money.
I don't want to pin you down.
I could use the money.
It sure didn't take us long to get back to a 3-man booth, did it?
I'd get out there in a minute right now and play.
Would you like to?
Of course. I could go 15 or 20 yards on a slow bounce.
The little boy's still in there, huh?
Absolutely.
Third down and 7 for the Bills. From the shotgun, Reich rolls out in deep trouble, tries to get it back across the field. He gets it to Thomas. Screen clear across the field.
Ooh, close. Did he get it? No, it looks like he went out of bounds.
About a yard short of the first down. Reich, under tremendous pressure, was able to get it back to Thomas.
Well, that's Kevin Green.
Was bearing down on Reich.
Howard Ballard just didn't steer Green far enough upfield, although that's very difficult for an offensive tackle to do. But look at the hustle by Kevin Green.
Now, do you still want to get out there, Jack?
Come to think of it,
back to the cabinet.
Yeah, I'll say it's something easy like housing and urban development.
We were close to seeing Stan Gelbaugh in the game, I think. Some shot that Frank Reich took.
John Kidd on to punt for Buffalo, and again, Darrell Henley, who only had one opportunity to display his talent tonight because of the kicks of John Kidd. Kidd puts it up once again, and Henley calls for the fair catch at the Rams' 36-yard line. Like to 7.
The other two, Ackerman and Mangus, were declared ineligible for unspecified reason.
Houlihan on the receiving end of a first down pass from Everett.
So back to that for just a moment. A major story breaking out of Gainesville, Florida. Again, Florida quarterback Kyle Morris and backup Shane Matthews declared ineligible by the NCAA for betting on football games.
Story goes on to read that Morris and Shane did not wager on Florida games and bet only small amounts of money ranging from $25 to $100.
The four players, we are told, will remain at the university as students, but they are ineligible to participate in any athletic event.
7-yard pickup by Houlihan, second down and 3, and Greg Bell works the middle. The surge carries him out to about the 47-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. Carlton Bailey and Bruce Smith defensively there for the Bills. 6:25 remaining in the third quarter. Rams still leading the Bills 7-6, and there is Jack Kemp, the well-deserved name on this Ring of Honor here of the Buffalo Bills, played from 62 to 69. Again, the name prominent still in the Bills record book, and of course a prominent name in the political world, and now Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and doing a tremendous job, having inherited a tremendous mess.
Third and very short, Frank.
Bell has the first down and slides through a pair of defenders for an additional yard. Got a good block from Pat Carter as the Rams come out in their 2 tight end offense. Again, from Rome this Sunday night, the McDonald's Open featuring the Denver Nuggets. Also teams from Yugoslavia, Italy, and Spain will be participating, and they'll face Alex English and the Nuggets in the round-robin competition. The action will be coming your way, and you'll see it live from Rome beginning at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, Sunday, right here on ABC Sports. First and 10, the Rams at their own 48. Everett has Ellard in single coverage, throws behind him. Ellard spins around and comes down with it at the 27-yard line behind Nate Odoms, who actually had pretty good coverage on him. Ellard, of course, the Rams Travelers Man of the Year for service outside of just the world of football, the community, his own community involvement. And of course he will represent the Rams, and we will hear about the Travelers Man of the Year at the Super Bowl. But not bad coverage on the part of Odoms, and it was great reading between Everett and Ellard.
A timing pattern all the way, with Ellard making his break back to the inside as the ball was already in the air. That's the kind of a pass pattern, if not run properly, makes the quarterback look real bad.
Everett back on the attack again. Again looking for Ellard, and he finds him down around the 10-yard line. And this is what has been the lightning part of the Rams offense all year long. Ellard coming in tonight with amazing numbers.
Well, I think the biggest difference on these last 2 plays for the Los Angeles Rams has been an absence of pressure on quarterback Jim Everett. He's been back in the pocket, he's been comfortable, and look at the length of the patterns that the Ram receivers, Henry Ellard in particular, have been able to run without any quarterback harassment.
Ellard not hurting his average of over 18 yards and 35 receptions into tonight on those pair of receptions. First down, goal to go. The Rams near the 8-yard line.
And here comes the blitz again.
Bell in trouble.
Oh, now the football.
Everett, I think, covered for the Rams. Yes, he did.
Boy, and that's a live ball. No hitting the ground to cause that fumble. That was Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, number 91, right there in the middle of your screen, who got in and made the tackle and caused the fumble.
Jeff Wright seeing a lot of playing time. You see him in the 4-man line, the 4-man front of the Buffalo Bills, and seems to be the heir apparent to Fred Smerlas, who is now in his 11th year. Now here is Bell's problem, trying to get to the outside as Darryl Talley, number 56, turns him back to the inside. Ball is free, and there's Everett, hurdling that 6'5" frame into the sack, saving the ball for the Rams. Second down, goal to go. The Rams. Ellard motion. Looking for Ellard. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. Nate Odoms, a man who is shadowing, it appears, Ellard all over the field.
Well, Nate Odoms is doing exactly that. He's drawing a man coverage, locked up, see him come all the way across the formation with Henry Ellard. It is a tough assignment for Nate Odoms, but again, his positioning, even though a step behind, forces Jim Everett to throw the ball way out front. Jim Everett looking like he's having a difficult time really putting that fine spiral on the ball, as this one is wobbling at both ends as it comes down, but the coverage by Odoms forces that throw.
Exactly, great coverage by Odoms. That ball had to be thrown perfectly for a completion. It wasn't. Third down, goal to go. Everett again with good coverage by the Bills. Incomplete. Again, good defense, this time by Kirby Jackson.
Well, John
Robinson, I think, wants a flag, and I don't know whether he's going to get it.
Well, he's not going to get it by now. We have a player hurt down in the end zone. One of the Buffalo Bill players is down on the ground.
Dwight Drain is the injured Bill.
Drain involved in where the quarterback, where the ball was coming down, and he's in obvious serious pain. Well, Dwight Drain gets up and heads for the Buffalo sideline. Let's take a look at that play once, if we could, guys. And after this field goal attempt,
Lansford is on. 34-yard attempt. Holohan with the good hands as the holder. Chip shot for Lansford, and the Rams now move out to a 10-6 lead. 2:56 remaining in the third quarter, and we'll be back in Buffalo in just a moment.
Why? Yeah, you saw him on the sidelines. Watch Kirby Jackson, number 47. All right, here's Ellard going to make his break as he sees Everett come out of the way. The ball's in the air, but now watch Jackson drive right through Ellard before the ball gets there. Ball's still not there. There's contact, and he cleans him right out of the area of where the ball would have come in. And John Robinson on the sideline, he wasn't screened from that. He's incredulous that there's no flag.
Lansford puts it in the air. Ronnie Harmon will bring it up. Harmon out over the 20, close to the 25, hit there by Anthony Newman. World Series game number 3 coming up tomorrow night. Al Michaels, Tim McCarver, Jim Palmer will provide all the excitement for you as San Francisco tries to get something happening. Our coverage will begin live at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, right here on ABC Sports.
Bob Welch pitching for the A's. Don Robinson going for the Giants. And again, can't underscore how badly the San Francisco Giants need a win at home.
First and 10, and Thomas finds an opening over the right side and gets out close to the 34-yard line. Nice pickup of about 9 yards before Fred Strickland, who has been troubled much of this young season with a damaged knee.
And you look at that graphic right there, the only NFL player with 300 plus. Thurman Thomas is a kind of a player that when you watch him play and you look at his receiving skills and his running skills, he's the kind of a guy that maybe someday could move into that Roger Craig type of player. Might be a 1,000 kind of guy. It's an offensive scheme here in Buffalo that really wants to feature him and player.
Coming up just inches short of the first down. And there is Dwight Drain, who was shaken up on that play in the end zone. Kirby Jackson against Henry Ellard. Bruised thigh, and we understand he probably will be back. Second down, inches to go. Well, we've seen a fake punt. Could we see on a down you could waste some kind of an attempt? Nope. Thomas will get the first down out over the 35-yard line. Doug Reed made the stop there. This game was not a sellout here in Buffalo up until almost the deadline on Friday, but a group of businessmen really headed up by Jim Kelly, who got behind it, and the ABC affiliate general manager here of WKBW-TV, and they got a bunch of businessmen to come in and buy some 4,000 seats, nearly $100,000, so it could be broadcast in the local area, which also includes Toronto. So the locals getting behind the Buffalo Bills to put them on the air. The first down, just out over the 35-yard line. Reich misses his intended receiver, Metzlars. He's hard to miss. He's 6'7" and 250. As the Bills trail by 4 with 1:38 remaining in the third quarter.
Frank, you talked about not a sellout here at Rich Stadium. They're all excited about one of the things coming up here. And I guess it's 1993. The World University Games are going to be held here in the Buffalo area, and the opening closing ceremonies are going to be held right here at Rich Stadium, and it's certainly a marvelous setting for that. A lot of, I guess it's over 100,000 people will be brought into the greater Buffalo area. They'll utilize hotels as far away as the Niagara Falls area, and they're plenty excited about that here in the Buffalo area coming up in 93, the World University Games.
Reich is back on second down and 10, tries to get the screen pass to Thomas and just dumped it right at his feet, and Reich knows how bad that was himself. And there is Kelly now as the front has moved through here. They expected one. It came through with rain and
kind of there's a fog. You can actually see the low clouds moving through the light standards, and it hasn't really affected anything down on the playing field whatsoever. It's a couple hundred feet off of the ground, but what a turn. It was an absolutely spectacular day here yesterday, and this morning it was close to 75 degrees.
From the shotgun on 3rd down and 10, Reich is back, has the time, throws it underneath, and Thomas eludes one Ram, gets some running room, and gets the first down yardage out over the 40-yard line, doing it on his own.
You got to love this guy. You got to love Thurman Thomas and the effort he's giving here tonight. The Rams are making him pay for every step of the way. He is getting pummeled. Again, Thomas coming off of the field. He's having to be spelled. He's taking a beating.
5'10", 198-pounder. He carried the ball 900 times at Oklahoma State. And watch him again. Not
Richard has 2 guards to get out in front of him.
time remaining in the 3rd quarter. Reich has a receiver open and tried to get the ball to McKellar and batted away by Leroy Irvin. A ball that one would have to think that maybe a Jim Kelly with the stronger arm would have got in there.
Or I don't know that Frank Reich is looking off anyone in the Rams secondary. Look how he's looking to where he's throwing the ball all the way. Hey, a defensive back like Leroy Irvin, he's going to come off his receiver. He knows that he's not going to be looked off by a guy like Frank Reich. You have got to look to another part of the field working against a secondary like the Rams. That is not Leroy Irvin's guy at all. He's covering a different receiver. He's going to come off reading the quarterback and get in on the action.
2nd down and 10. Reich this time fires again to the outside, deflected by Jerry Gray and caught by Andre Reed. And well, if you can't do it one way, do it the other way.
Well, Frank Reich is doing for the forward pass what Dave Kingman did for the fly ball.
Getting the thrill back in it.
He sure is. Jerry Gray has to be walking back to the huddle going, where is the football?
I mean, this was a perfect lead to Jerry Gray, the defender. Gray was looking at the end zone, thinking end zone, because he could have taken this one all the way home.
They're coming right at you here with this reverse angle. I mean, Jerry, excellent concentration by Andre Reed. That's the way to stay with the football, even if it comes out of a defender's arm.
The 3rd down is at the 42-yard line. 3rd down, and Thurman Thomas out to the outside. How's that for a stiff arm? Ah, what a show Thurman Thomas is putting on tonight. He stiff arms Vince Newsom. First down yardage for certain, and takes it down to the 31-yard line.
Frank, he almost knocks Vince Newsom over. He hits Vince Newsom so hard that Newsom is staggered. He almost goes down, and if he does, Thurman Thomas walks into the end zone. Look at this shot.
And does not get his hand tangled up with the face mask. No chance of a call on that. Thurman Thomas.
Newsom struggling to stay on his feet. Boy, that's a lost art, a running back using that stiff arm.
Inside. McKellar in motion. Thomas again. At the line of scrimmage by Doug Reed. Seconds ticking off here in the 3rd quarter. Not a pretty thing to watch. Again, the Rams trying to keep an unbeaten streak alive of 5, the only unbeaten team in the National Football League, and the Bills trying to stay on top of their AFC Eastern Division.
This is a timely quarter break for the Bills. This will give Thurman Thomas a much-needed rest.
That's our show. Bills ground 10-6 to the Los Angeles Rams as we move into the 4th and final quarter. Buffalo 2nd down and 11. Ball at the Rams 33-yard line. Reed in motion. Reich fires and is complete. Again, the conservative approach, but McKellar comes down with the football inside the 25-yard line, short of the first down. That's what we were talking about a moment ago. Buffalo can maintain their lead in the AFC in Miami. They will fall into a 3-way tie if they lose tonight. The Rams, of course, need this one to maintain their 1-game lead over the San Francisco 49ers. We will see that 49er Ram matchup in December here on Monday Night Football. 3rd down and 2 for Frank Reich from the shotgun. Reich with a little pump fake gets out of trouble. And Flip Johnson couldn't find the handle. Kevin Green pressuring Frank Reich. So that'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see the field goal unit come on.
Boy, that's a wide open Flip Johnson, too. Flip Johnson as he works across the middle, and I think that's Fred Strickland down on the ground for the Rams. He's had knee problems all year. I'm not sure if that's the problem here, but here's a guy that's been fighting injuries. Had arthroscopic surgery earlier.
Obviously, Fred Strickland in deep pain. We'll be back in Buffalo in just a moment. Scott Norwood is on for the field goal attempt at 41 yards. He's hit earlier tonight from 38 and 47. And yes, it hooks in, and he will be credited with a 40-yard field goal. Third of the night for Scott Norwood.
One thing about it, it's ugly, but it's close.
It goes with the game.
This
Again.
was not a well-struck ball, but it certainly was straight.
Sidewinding right footer. It'll get the hook on it, and it does.
That ball just barely inside the upright. We've had them barely clearing the crossbar, barely inside the upright. And it's still a one-point game, 10-9, in favor of the Rams.
While we were away, Fred Strickland left on a golf cart to go into the Rams dressing room. Here it is. We will get a report. We have already mentioned earlier that he had been troubled with a knee problem throughout the early part of the season.
He had arthroscopic surgery, Frank, in the preseason, missed the whole preseason, missed the opening game, then re-injured it last week in the Rams game against Atlanta and had to come out of the game, toughed it up, and really played the balance of this game. And he is such a key linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams. He's the middle man on that Hawk defense of theirs that gets over the nose guard and can either play defensive lineman or linebacker. That's a critical loss for the Rams. And just another of their fine young ball players.
Set to go now. Norwood will kick off. Ron Brown is deep for the Rams, along with Robert Del Pino. Del Pino 39, and there's Ron Brown, the great sprinter. And it will be Ron Brown from the 7-yard line. And nailed and hammered at the 21-yard line is Ron Brown. And a fired up Bills team. Their special units have played well tonight. Their defense has been outstanding, and they are staying alive with their Pro Bowl quarterback Jim Kelly on the bench. Rams had started to move the ball in the third quarter. They were connecting deep with Ellard. They had one pass that should have been called for pass interference in the end zone again to Ellard. So let's see if they keep Ellard in their attack. First and 10, the Rams at the 21-yard line. Ellard. First down yardage out to the 32-yard line. Just having a phenomenal year, coming off a great year of a year ago when he set a Ram record for receptions at 86 and over 1,400 yards. And when you consider some of the great Ram receivers over the years, and like the Fears and Hirsch, Henry Ellard is just rewriting the Rams record book as far as receiving is concerned.
And what a change in his game, maybe more than anything else, Frank, is how disciplined he now runs his pass route. Extremely sharp break.
On first down, Everett back. Fires it underneath. This is Holohan, who Everett used considerably in the first quarter. The big H-back, or at times he'll line up at tight end. And the former San Diego Charger, we talked about Ellard running the precise routes. Ernie Zampese coached the offense for the San Diego Chargers for a number of years, and if you recall watching the discipline of their offensive unit with Dan Fouts in control, Ernie Zampese right there on the right. Great offensive mind. Of course, much of it he learned with the San Diego Chargers and Don Coryell. Handoff goes to Del Pino. And Del Pino up close to the 40-yard line, short of the first down. Carlton Bailey defensively there for the Bills.
How do you overstate what Darryl Talley, what Carlton Bailey, what Bruce Smith, Art Still, Jeff Wright, Ray Bentley, Radisek, what these guys have done to the Buffalo defense tonight and how they have kept their offensive team, which has done much of anything, how they've kept the Bills in this ball game. One of the fine defensive performances you're going to see.
3rd down 3. Everett. To Everett Cox.
Now they're going to have a difficult time. Are they going to call this a catch?
Was it a catch? They are marking at midfield, and I think we'll have a look-see on this one.
Supposed to get both feet down with control of the football. That's the rule. They have tightened it up a bit exactly as to what possession is.
Take a look. Aaron Cox, the receiver. Everett throws it high. There's the left down. Did he have it?
No, the ball's dropping out. I think you've got to look at that as an incomplete pass.
Leonard Smith was a defender, and John Robinson again forced to look on.
That sure looked like an incomplete pass, but they're moving the chains. Looked like that ball was on its way out.
Well, it'll be 1st down, the Rams at their own 46-yard line.
They're going to stop it. They're going to take a look at this, I think, or are they just putting the clock up?
The ball was thrown high to Cox. Made a great effort just to come down with it.
I don't think you can call that a completion. I just don't think you can rule that a completion. It looks like the ball was loose. Maybe we'll get a better look at it here.
Leonard Smith, the defender for the Bills.
There's the left is down, but there goes the right, but it looks like the ball is already coming out. But now keep in mind now the officials on the field ruled this a catch. So they're going to have to see evidence in the replay booth, conclusive evidence to overturn that. And I don't know that that's going to happen. The officials have gone to smoked glass now.
It's a one-way glass. They can see out, hopefully.
Who knows? They might not even be there. We're taking their word for it. Meanwhile, the Bills fans here have turned around beseeching us here in our broadcast position as if we have some say-so in overturning this. It's a difficult decision. It's a difficult call for George Sladke. Is he seen enough to overturn the officials on the field? I don't know that he has. Here's reverse angle.
And here's the call.
The play stands.
And it will stand.
I can't really argue with George Sladke there. I don't know that we saw enough to overturn the official on the field. I don't know. It's a very tough call.
1st down, Rams. Ball just inside their own 47-yard line. Anderson in motion. Greg Bell. We've watched this all night long as they work the left side, and this time Scott Redisick was there.
You can hear the boos in the background. The Buffalo crowd still upset that that wasn't overturned.
Little or no yardage by Bell. It'll be 2nd down and long. Call it 2nd down and 9. Reich staying warm in the sidelines, Frank Reich. And it is much cooler than when the game began a long time ago. Everett back again. Ellard is open on the sidelines. And Ellard to the 38-yard line right in front of Nate Odoms. And when you're in a man-for-man situation on Ellard, as Odoms is at this point, he looks right at Ellard. The speed of Ellard goes for the ball. Knocked him out of bounds, and of course the ruling is when he is knocked out of bounds and he could have come down inbounds, it is ruled a completion. Another Rams 1st down as they are beginning to get upfield with the football. Ellard and Everett.
Here comes the blitz again.
Holohan, intended receiver, and he drops it.
Well, Jim Everett read it, and I'm not sure that Pete Holohan saw the blitz. We complimented Holohan in the 1st quarter about how quickly he recognized the blitz and reacted back, and the Ram battery got a completion. This time Holohan looked like he kept going rather than sitting down and waiting for Jim Everett to get him the ball.
Everett looking over to the sidelines. Ernie Zampese calling the plays that are sent in to Everett.
John Robinson right now saying, I'm sure, just let me get out of here. I promise I won't even watch the films if we can just get out with a 1-point win. Blitz again.
And on the draw play, Bailey was on the blitz, and he runs right into Del Pino. Blitz is not a bad defense against the run. You take out all the gaps, and things like this will happen.
Bailey just, that's where as a defensive player you say it just doesn't get any better than this. Watch him on the right side of your screen. There's number 54. He's coming on a blitz all the way. Of course, if Everett doesn't hand it off to Del Pino, if it's a pass play, that's going to be a sack. It's one of those take your picks, and here's a 3rd and 13 situation for the Rams.
Blitz is on, single coverage. Ellard was tied up deep with Mickey Sutton. No flags are down. There is a flag, yes, outside the playing field. Mickey Sutton defending against Ellard.
Number 20, defense, first down.
Ellard fighting back to the ball. Mickey Sutton interfered. Another Ram first down.
How often do you see it on an underthrown ball? Right here, though, Mickey Sutton's big mistake. It's not turning back to the quarterback and playing the ball.
I think he tried to. He was buried by Ellard.
Well, Ellard is going to throw his arms out because he's making an attempt to catch the ball. Look at Sutton even gesturing as he goes down to the ground like, what could I do? Mickey, the only thing I can tell you what you could have tried to do, easy to say from up here though, that's going to be a call if you don't have your hat turned around, looking back towards the quarterback in the football. That's a tough, tough play for Mickey Sutton.
And again, the defense rises to the occasion. You know, Talley was there, Kelso was there, loss of 2.
What a critical penalty against the Bills, but I want to go back that almost any cornerback in this game is going to get caught in that situation where the ball is that severely underthrown. The receiver almost comes to a dead stop. You're moving, you're playing the receiver. You have no idea where the ball is. All you can do is stay tight to the receiver. He comes back into you to try to catch the ball, and you get the flag. That's a tough deal for Mickey Sutton.
2nd down, 12, Rams.
Ooh, the double blitz
Everett
was on.
The blitz was on. Johnson, the intended receiver, incomplete. Mark Kelso hammers Johnson.
Boy, nice defense. Look at that padded helmet. Look at the padding on top of Kelso's helmet again to protect him from the concussion he received last week.
And this time he didn't hold back at all. He was questionable all week long. Watch number 38. That's Kelso. Comes up and forces the incompletion. 3rd down now and 12 for the Rams.
You know, for a guy with a concussion, he's certainly not afraid to put that hat right in there. Well, that's awful close to being a reception and then a fumble. That's awful close.
In and out of the hands of Holohan. He would not have had the first down in any event. It'll be 4th down. Leonard Smith, Mark Kelso, both there defensively.
And what a stand by the Bills defensively, overcoming the interference call on Mickey Sutton. Lansford's going to try another long field goal, but again, how do you laud this Buffalo defense enough?
Lansford has already kicked 1 tonight. This from 36 yards out. To give the Rams the 5-point lead. The 4-point lead for the Rams, but it takes away the possibility of the Bills taking this game into an overtime with a field goal. So it's 13-9. The Rams over the Bills. Still 9 minutes to play. We'll be back. Harmon trying to turn the corner, and he's nailed out around the 15-yard line. Darrell Henley, the rookie 2nd-round draft pick from UCLA, hustling down there. If you voted with us tonight on the best catch over the years on Monday Night Football, you have voted 66% for Lewis Bennett.
I think first of all, that's a combination of how good of a reception it really was. It was an unusual catch over the back like that. But I think there's a sentimental vote there too for a replacement player, a guy that only got to play 3 games in the National Football League. I doubt he carried the Union block though.
First down and 10. And Reich with a very strong arm. Ronnie Harmon down the sidelines, or Andre Reed coming down with it.
Why have they waited this long to go deep?
A lot of time for Reich. He took about a 3-step drop and still had the time to get the ball to Reed, working man for man against Jerry Gray. And this was all arm on the part of Reich.
See, look at Jerry Gray. It almost is like he slowed down a bit. He's still in great coverage. But he still wasn't anticipating the ball going that far. Oh, but give this guy a lot of credit, Andre Reed. That's the way to time your leap and get up and bring it down.
The first down inside the 40-yard line of the Rams. Bills down by 4. Thomas breaks it back inside. Gets a couple of yards to about the 37 before Mike Peel comes up with the tackle. Clock ticking away inside 8 minutes.
Boy, he saw Kent Hull, the center, get his leg caught underneath him. He came up limping. He's still hobbling around in the middle of the Buffalo huddle.
Pro Bowl center for the Bills. Second down and 8.
Look at this graphic here. Look how the Buffalo defense has just totally controlled the Rams and their rushing game in the second half. Minus 7 yards for the half.
Reich again with a lot of time. Intended for Andre Reed. And off the fingertips of Mel Owens. And was up for grabs for a moment. Rams, as Dan mentioned, will be very fortunate if they can get out of here tonight, remaining undefeated, and then things get a little interesting for them. They're home for New Orleans, who's at the moment playing very good football. Then they're at Chicago, and then in Minnesota, and then they are home for the Giants. Tough few weeks ahead. Third down and 8.
4 wide receivers for Frank Reich.
Rams showing blitz, and then they step out of it. Reich with a lot of time, and it runs out. Had the time, could not find the
Got a flag.
Receivers, and a flag is down, and the Bills are saying that it's going to go against the Rams.
The Buffalo players are signaling that it's going to be defensive holding against the Rams, and that's it. And you know that's an automatic first down. Boy, it would have been a 4th and long yardage after the sack. Wow, what a break for Marv and the Bills.
Holding number 26, defense, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. First
Anthony
down.
Newman, who is in there in the nickel package, and Andre Reed, number 83.
Well, yeah, there's
no question about that one.
Wow. Well, if you're going to hold him. And the right arm on the shoulder pad, and that's just way too flagrant. That's going to get called.
And first down, Bills, 32-yard line.
Would have been a 4th and 16, way out of field goal range.
Kennebrew. And the big one pulls his way to the 27-yard line. Former Cincinnati Bengal who laid out all of last year with a contract problem with Cincinnati. Surge is ahead for about 5 yards. Clock ticking away inside 7 minutes. Rams lead 13-9. Bills cannot do it with a field goal. Andre Reed in motion. Thurman Thomas breaks one tackle, gets inside the 25-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. Frank Stamms is there defensively.
Still, though, a good positive gain for Buffalo, keeping it on the ground right here. Power football with Big Kennebrew out front blocking. And that's a solid hole on the left side.
Third down and 1. And the short yardage men come in for the Bills, these 2 tight ends. Frank Reich steps into the huddle. Clock ticking away. 5:30.
This wouldn't be a bad time for play action pass. One hand grenade will get everybody.
Thomas. And Thomas. It looks like Thomas has picked up the first down. Michael Stewart in there defensively for the Rams, who
this is no
stand up Thomas, but this will be close.
This is no gimme here. This is no gimme whatsoever. All eyes on the spot here,
including Jim Kelly on the left.
Got a player, one of the Rams is down on the field and not up yet. That's why there's a delay in bringing out the chains. I think Doug Reed.
They will bring out the chains, however. Doug Reed very slow getting up, but appears to be all right. You heard the crowd. They saw it with you. Strange game. Jim Kelly, the gun for the Buffalo Bills, out of course. Will be out for a couple of more weeks. Separated shoulder. Frank Reich, unheard of. Been around for 5 years. Third-round draft pick in '85. Attempts in 4 years until last week. First down inside the 22-yard line of the Rams. Reich again with that short drop, and he fires and is complete to Andre Reed.
And look at the... I talked a little earlier about the unusual build of Andre Reed for a wide receiver. The powerful upper body, the powerful calves and thighs. I mean, this guy is built like a linebacker, and boy, he illustrates here what he can do with it. Look at him lock up with Michael Stewart and take Stewart for a ride.
But what a pass by Reich. He got it inside the linebacker. He got it just in good coverage by Gray on this.
Watch
but it was a perfectly thrown ball. Now watch this power.
Watch the knee go down right there, Frank. That's where they're spotting the ball. Even though Reed ends up at the 3-yard line, they put it back and spotted it back by the 7. Good call by the official, seeing Reed's knee touch the ground.
First down, goal to go. Kennebrew. They give it to Kennebrew, and he bulls to the goal line.
He's not in, but he's knocking.
Kennebrew, about 255, depending upon whether they weigh him in the morning or the evening. He can be bigger. And he carries it inside the 1. Second down, goal to go. Clock moving inside 4 minutes.
Disbelief on the Rams sideline and in Los Angeles in general that the Rams are in jeopardy of losing the lead.
Mueller and Thurman Thomas the setbacks. Thomas tries to go up over the top and could not even get off his feet. Mel Owens with a fine defensive play.
Alvin Wright as well,
Alvin
number 99. That was even a loss of yardage. I think the fans telling you what they want. They want Larry Kennebrew. They're calling the play from the stands. You can see the loss of yardage on that last play.
Third down, goal to go.
I don't think that a field goal here is an option. They're going to take a couple more whacks at it. Somebody better go with the receiver out there.
And a quick shift at the line of scrimmage. They set the 1 count, and they caught the Rams defense totally off guard. An emotional outburst by a crowd of 80,000. They have all stayed. It has not been pretty, but the Bills have taken the lead. Scott Norwood. And the Bills lead the Rams for the first time tonight. Frank Reich, 14 of 30, 145 yards, but he comes through in the clutch. Thurman Thomas, who's been brilliant all night long, takes it in for the Bills score. Mostly still on their feet, applauding the Buffalo Bills, who have come from behind to take the lead with 2:23 remaining. The Bills over the Rams, 16-13. Ron Brown.
I wouldn't kick it to him.
Of course, you recall a couple of weeks ago, the Rams were down 10-12 to the 49ers, and Jim Everett took them to within field goal range, and with 2 seconds remaining, Lansford kicked it through the uprights to beat the 49ers, so the Rams can come back. No question about that.
Boy, they kicked it to Brown. I don't know why.
Ron Brown. And most certainly defensively tonight. Bruce Smith, big number 78. Talley, 56. Cornelius Bennett, all playing great defense tonight. So here we go. 2:13 remaining. Three timeouts for the Rams if they come into play. And of course the 2-minute warning. Everett. And Everett pulls it down, wanted to go upfield, and picks up good yardage. Let's go back.
Here it is right here. Take a look at the shift that creates this. Butch Roll is going to shift all the way out here. Mueller is going to come up on the line of scrimmage, and the Ram defense is not going to adjust and send someone out. That confusion is going to leave Ronnie Harmon wide open.
But a good call. They were only there a beat, Dan.
Yeah, Roll goes all the way out, and look at that. We're seeing a last-minute reaction by Fairnays all the way out there, and Thurman Thomas just all alone. That shift was an excellent call by the Bills.
Everett got 6 on the scramble, and in and out of the hands of Ellard. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Everett looks to the sidelines, picks up the call, and in that drive in San Francisco, the key man, as we look at field goal kicker Mike Lansford, the key man was Holohan. 3rd down and 4. Everett trying to go to Holohan. Holohan could not fight back to the ball, incomplete. That takes us down to the 2-minute warning. So the Rams have a 4th down and 4. 2 minutes remaining. We'll be back in Buffalo in a moment. Our situation, 1:57 remaining. The Bills over the Rams, 16-13. The Rams with a 4th down and 4. The ball at their own 32-yard line. They have 3 timeouts remaining, but they have elected to keep their offensive unit on the field, and on 4th and 4, they are going to go for it. Everett. Ellard does not hold on. Kirby Jackson was a defender, but Everett had a Buffalo Bill. It was a safety blitz. Wayne Davis was right in Everett's face. Darrell Talley was there. So the Rams gamble. The Bills also with a safety blitz on their defense.
Beautifully executed by Jim Everett. I mean, he read the blitz. He waited long enough, waited to the last second, took a shot, and ended up delivering the ball right to Henry Ellard. And I don't know what else you could expect Jim Everett to do right here. Look at Wayne Davis hit him. The ball is not pretty, but I mean, it's a perfect strike. It is right to Henry Ellard, and that's just a catch that Henry Ellard always has and really should have made.
Your sure-handed one most certainly had the opportunity to get the first down for the Rams. Henry Ellard. Great effort by Everett. First down and 10, the Bills.
The Rams will certainly burn up their timeouts here and stopping the clock if Buffalo does not get a first down or does not move any deeper. It's going to make a long field goal attempt for Norwood.
Rams take one of their 3 timeouts.
The last, that was an interesting decision by John Robinson on 4th and 4, going for the first down with the amount of time left on the clock. He could have punted the ball away, used up his timeouts. If in fact Buffalo did not get a first down, they would have gotten the ball back. But the situation would have been that they would not have had any timeouts, and they still would have had it in their own end of the field. I think what we saw right there by John Robinson, Frank, was a statement of confidence in his offensive unit and his quarterback, Jim Everett.
And justifiably so. Everett made a great effort and got the ball right into Ellard. He's the blitzing safety man right in his face. He still got it to Ellard, and one you would expect an Ellard to come down with.
Well, I think that's that's kind of the old saying, you dance with who brung you. And I think that's what John Robinson said. It's 4th and 4, and I'll give it to Jim Everett and Henry Ellard and let them do what they've been doing for me for the last couple of years. It just didn't work out with Ellard dropping the ball.
Frank Reich does not dance pretty tonight, but he's getting it done. 2 timeouts remain for the Rams. Kennebrew inside the 30-yard line, covering up the football, as you can see, with both hands. Reminder, tonight on Nightline, we'll take a look at the stock market and what the future holds for investors. We all kind of held our breath today. Some of us a little deeper and a little longer than others. Still a volatile situation, and tonight on Nightline, a closer look. And of course, the World Series game number 3 coming your way as it moves from Oakland to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Coverage begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific here on ABC Sports. And Jim Kelly joins Ted Marchibroda on the left, the offensive coordinator, in talking to young quarterback Frank Reich. 1 timeout remaining for the Rams. 3rd down and 8 for the Bills. Well, Reich comes back on. A win tonight for the Bills, and they remain on top in the AFC Eastern Division. 1 game ahead of Indianapolis and Miami. And the Rams, should they go on to lose, will drop into a tie with the San Francisco 49ers, and that will take care of the unbeatens in the 1989 NFL season. 3rd down and 8. Thomas, big opening for Thomas.
Fumble! He fumbled the ball. Boy, he fumbled the ball. Oh, and the Rams have it.
Rams have it with 1:33 remaining. Michael Stewart covers the ball.
Oh, boy.
So Thurman Thomas, who has been brilliant all night long, has given the Rams another golden opportunity.
Boy, did he take a shot to break that ball loose. And look at Bruce Smith come right over to his teammate, his offensive teammate. Look at Thurman. He can't believe he's dropped the ball in this situation. But you know what? It's kind of fitting. It's kind of fitting that the Buffalo defense be asked one more time to save this ball game.
Vince Newsome provided the hit. We talked about the 2 safeties Dan has all night, and it was Michael Stewart, the other safety, who made the recovery. Thomas over 100 yards on the night, but perhaps a costly fumble. Everett back. Fires. What a catch by Willie Anderson. He's gone with great speed.
This is a shocker.
Everett.
Unbelievable.
1 shot. Anderson is gone.
You will seldom see as dramatic a turnaround as we have just witnessed on 2 plays. The fumble by Thurman Thomas and the strike from Jim Everett to Willie Flipper Anderson.
The Bills in a prevent defense. Willie Anderson, the speedster out of UCLA. 47 is Kirby Jackson.
And Mark Kelso.
Kelso tried to come up, couldn't make the play, and Anderson is gone. But what a shot by Everett to get it in there. Good coverage by Jackson. Kelso even had a play had he moved a fraction of a second earlier. But Everett and Anderson connect for the touchdown.
Longest play of the year for the Los Angeles Rams.
Still time for the Bills as Lansford boots it through. And a stunned crowd here at Rich Stadium. Thurman Thomas, of course, provided the turnover and set the stage for Everett to Anderson. Anderson just getting beyond Kirby Jackson. Good concentration. No thought about Mark Kelso, who perhaps should have been better advised had he taken a shot and tried to jar that ball loose from Willie Anderson. But the Rams retake the lead. 1:22 remaining. The Bills have 3 timeouts remaining. And Everett has brought the Rams back once again. You really have to wonder what Mark Kelso was thinking about there. The free safety, it's up to him to put a big hit on the receiver. And Mark Kelso just went sailing right by Willie Anderson without even touching him. Again, a stunned silence has swept across this stadium. That only moments ago was so jubilant when Thomas had scored the go-ahead touchdown on a pass from Frank Reich. But again, still plenty of time for the Bills. That play took 11 seconds. Lansford bangs one. Ronnie Harmon. And Harmon out over the 35-yard line, so the Bills will get good field position.
I want to show you something. Here are the Bills where they're 2 deep safeties back here. Kelso's going to come into this area right here. Here is Anderson and Jackson right here. And watch Kelso as he sails right by him. It's the safety's job back here to come up and break up this pass. Now watch Kelso as he moves right by Anderson without making any play on the ball whatsoever. And there goes Anderson clear out of the picture. And that's the first thing the Bills are going to say defensively tomorrow. Mark Kelso, why didn't you break up that play? Why didn't you knock Willie Anderson down?
On first down from the 36, Reich fires the ball.
That was another fumble.
It goes to Andre Reed.
Well, this game has had everything.
2nd down and 4. It's the time remaining in the game. The Bills with their 3 timeouts. Over the middle this time to Thurman Thomas. Thomas still on his feet, trying to get out of bounds. He does. He stops the clock.
Well, there's a guy doing everything he could team back in it. You don't have to ever have played to try to imagine what is going on inside Thurman Thomas right now. Taking all the responsibility upon himself, I'm sure he is, for the fumble that led to the Rams touchdown. But in reality, without the efforts of Thurman Thomas throughout the course of this ball game, Bills wouldn't even be close.
Yeah, but as you well know, Dan, that is not what he's thinking. No, he's hurting at the moment.
You got that right. And there's the snap of the year.
That's the highlight film.
Yeah, that'll.
Left guard, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Jim Richer over on the left side. Actually, Will Wolford, the left tackle, moves as well.
This is compounding the problems for Frank Reich as they mark off the 5 yards.
Not as erect as he was earlier. The bull is sagging. No bull. A lot more life left in the old bull a little bit earlier. Speaking of old bull, there's a lot of that flying around in the booth tonight.
3rd down, 7. Thomas to the 42-yard line. He keeps it alive for the Bills.
What a game for Thurman Thomas. How could a game that has been so ugly for so long get this exciting at the end? Thurman Thomas picking up 18. This is, we have seen more action in the last 7 or 8 minutes than we saw in the first 52. Another sensational night, handling the ball 31 times tonight. 152 yards in total offense for Thurman Thomas.
And keep in mind, a few moments ago, as he struggled and pulled Ram tacklers with him to get out of bounds, he kept a Buffalo Bills timeout. They still have 2 remaining.
Well, this is interesting. Andre Reed is on the sidelines for the Bills. He's the guy that has really hauled in the only really long pass of the evening. He did limp off the field earlier, and you know that if there's any way he could be in there, he would. So Andre Reed must be having some sort of a leg problem that's keeping him from being on the field, but he is Buffalo's big play receiver.
40 seconds remaining. Rams lead at 20-16. The Bills have 2 timeouts. First down and 10, 43-yard line of the Rams.
This is James Lofton, folks, here at the bottom of your screen. Boy, you know he's got some legs.
Thurman Thomas stops the clock again inside the 38-yard line. Lofton, of course, acquired a week ago on waivers from the Raiders.
There's James Lofton, still one of the fastest people in the National Football League, and as this clock dwindles down,
they clocked him here
in the
workout, Dan, at 4-4.
And he can get to the end zone quicker than anybody else in a blue jersey. Or look at the cushion he's getting on the far side of the field.
Thurman Thomas. Thomas breaks a tackle at the 30-yard line and gets to the 22-yard line. And now the Bills will use one of the 2 timeouts they have remaining, and they are down to 1. Andre Reed is coming back out onto the field. He did limp off a little earlier.
John Robinson right now on the far side of the field saying, why didn't I go into real estate? Why didn't I become a lawyer? Why didn't I become a school teacher? Well, why do I subject myself to this? And what an effort by Thurman Thomas. You can't say enough good things about this guy.
Became a starter as a rookie and has turned into a genuine superstar. Our final vote results. Lewis Bennett overwhelmingly wins your vote as the top reception man over the years of Monday Night Football, and indeed it was spectacular. Meanwhile, once again to reset, 26 seconds remaining. Rams leading 20-16. The Bills are down to their final timeout. They have a first down and 10. The ball at the 22-yard line of the Rams. The Bills with a win tonight will stay on top of the AFC East. The Rams with a win will stay on top of the NFC West, 1 game ahead of the 49ers.
Watch for some sort of a crossing pattern across the middle.
Ronnie Harmon. And Harmon inside the 10 stops the clock once again.
Well, he's going to step out of bounds, but the Ram coming up to put the coverage and the tackle on Ronnie Harmon slips and falls to the ground. And that gives the Buffalo running back another 10 yards. Take a look at this. Ronnie Harmon is just the flare man, the safety valve all the way. He's going to head for the sidelines. From the right, there down to the ground. I can't make out who that is. I think it's Vince Newsom, number 22. He comes up to make the tackle on Harmon and falls down. And now the Bills get all the way inside the 10-yard line because it was Newsom that fell down.
First down, goal to go. 20 seconds on the clock.
They need a touchdown. A field goal won't do it.
Reich fires. Andre Reed. He was in the end zone. That's touchdown. I hope you've stuck around to see this one tonight. It has been ugly in many ways. It has been emotional. It's been brilliant in many ways. Frank Reich. And Andre Reed, who just came off the bench after having left with an injured leg.
How could a football game that was this ugly for so long be this spectacular at the end?
It's why you don't go into real estate.
It's also why you shouldn't go to bed.
Norwood makes it 23. The Rams 20. A look again. Frank Reich. He's got a good touch. Andre Reed is in the end zone when he collides with Leroy Irvin. Perfectly executed by Frank Reich. Making his first start ever, and he will never forget it.
Frank, part of the problem is the amount of cushion that Irvin was giving Reed on that. Leroy Irvin is playing it all the way back in the end zone. Look at Andre. Here, look at Leroy Irvin. Here's Reed. Nothing more than a slant, and yet for some reason, Irvin waits all the way back in the end zone for Reed to come to him.
One can only think that Andre Reed, who basically is a good out man, Irvin was figuring him for a take to the inside and to take it outside, but he was way off him, and when the ball was delivered, he was in the end zone when he took it.
Yeah, for some reason, he felt like laying all the way off. Really a weird defensive alignment that time by Leroy Irvin. And Andre Reed tonight, 8 catches, over 100 yards, 106 yards, and that most crucial of touchdowns.
16 seconds remaining. Keep in mind, Ron Brown is deep for the Rams. I'm sure the Bills have that in mind. Scott Norwood tees it up, and one would suspect that he will try to do anything to keep it out of the arms of Ron Brown, who in his career has returned 4 kickoffs for touchdowns. Ron Brown will not see this. Bobbled and covered up by Mike McDonald.
But it burns time off the clock. A lot of heroes tonight for Buffalo if they should win. But let us not forget the effort turned in by the Bills and their defensive ball club. Game balls all the way around for Walt Corey, Marv Levy, and the defensive staff and players of the Buffalo Bills. A sensational defensive effort tonight by Buffalo.
9 seconds on the clock.
And there are more people back than there are up.
Looking for a defensive foul. Instead of that, Steve Odoms intercepts for Buffalo.
Oh, they're going to call it an incompletion now.
As a run out. This one is over. And a thrilling victory for the Bills. They won their opening game against Miami in the final second. They have come back to defeat the previously undefeated Los Angeles Rams 23-20. Under the direction of a quarterback who until tonight had never started an NFL game and had played so very little, Frank Reich.
And I'm sure this pleases a lot of people in the Bay Area. This loss by the Rams pleases all 49er fans everywhere. And of course, conversely, a lot of unhappy people in Indianapolis with this come-from-behind win by this guy, Frank Reich. And look at the difference in the second half. You think he worked out some of his early-on jitters?
The Bills win at 23-20. A reminder, tomorrow night is Game 3 of the 1989 World Series as the San Francisco Giants host the Oakland A's. Coverage begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And Saturday on ABC's College Football, defending Big Ten champion Michigan travels to Iowa to face the Hawkeyes. Or see UCLA battle Oregon State. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for ABC News Nightline, following your late local news over most of these ABC stations. For Dan Dierdorf, this is Frank Gifford saying so long from Buffalo. Good night, everybody.
ABC's Monday Night Football has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Anheuser-Busch, we brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. And by Kellogg's Corn Flakes, simple, delicious, and surprising. Taste them again for the first time. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.